I'm extremely happy that we are in semi-final. I mean, this is dream come true to play on this stage and to compete for major. So I don't care how we win, as long as we win, I'm extremely happy.
Pasha needs to land these shots. They line up and they get torn down, having to work against the odds. 2v3, Pasha finds Glaive, and another!
We saw our fans, they are here the second year in a row, and we always know where they are sitting, so that's an amazing feeling, and that's something which will happen more and more in the future, where people will support their favorite teams and they will come to the events, they will watch the games and cheer for the teams. So it just warms my heart that we have such great fans.
There is no particular reason to don't play or play Virtus.Pro. We respect those guys a lot. They're very friendly, very good. They're legends in Counter-Strike. And we expect tomorrow to make a good match with them. And we're going to try to do our best.
FNX is going to find an easy frag, and all of a sudden Shar is in a lot of trouble. FNX finding himself the third kill.
The feeling to play here in ESL Cologne was awesome. As I said, the crowd here is amazing. Everyone is cheering very loud. It's packed. We have more than 13,000 people here, so it's a very cool experience for us as players. I decided to bring my family to this tournament. I don't know if they expect to be that big, but I think they are very impressed by what we show here. Maybe some of them were not too close to esports, so they didn't have an idea on how big this is.
The Polish side, Virtus.Pro, now stands against defending world champions SK Gaming. Formerly Luminosity, you'll recognize these faces on stage. They have to battle through this semi-final first, though, and Virtus.Pro are a team that members of this desk have always kind of coined the phrase, never write out Virtus.Pro. No matter what these results are, 18 consecutive losses online, whatever it is, when they get to a major stage with the crowd behind them, something happens and a fire is lit underneath them. Duncan, why on earth does this happen? Virtus.Pro are a team that I can only assume is difficult to understand. You look at these results, you look at these poor performances, even bad LAN results. Then they turn up here in the quarterfinals, now they turn up here in the semifinals versus SK, and still, safe to assume, we're giving them a shot.
Sure, absolutely. I actually think that people are really writing this semi-final off. People are so hyped about Liquid, they think that could happen. People think, oh, this clean 2-0 for the SK guys, they go through, Virtus was lucky to get this far, maybe got lucky drawing Astralis. I actually think the guys from Virtus.Pro can make this a war. Like, one of the things I think is really good about this team is, when you look at the slump, you can actually see individual players who dropped off and their role didn't quite fit, all that stuff. But when they get into a big match, when they get into a big semi-final, what's great about this team is it is one of those teams that plays for themselves, plays for each other. They don't just play only for themselves or to get their own kills. And so as a result, Neo and Taz, they're not going to top frag because their job is to make sure Bialy's in the right position and he's able to get his kills, that Pasha's feeling comfortable and he has the opening stance if he wants it, that Snacks is rolling. So one of the great things about this team is they're a bit like NIP, they really do rise to the moment, you know. When they're on the big stage against the big opponent, I feel like they play to the level of their opponent. So sometimes they'll look bad against those ESL teams, but you put them against the best teams in the world. This was the only team to take a map from the SK Gaming lineup in that run to the title at MLG Columbus. So I think they can do it again. I think they can take another map here and make this a real war.
Make this a real war. Janko, same kind of sentiments from you?
Yes, I think Duncan described it perfectly, that VP is the team that plays to the level of their opponents. So you see them, you always question them because they tend to struggle against weaker teams, but whenever it's the big stage, whenever they play against the best teams in the world, they never get blown out of the server. They always put up a great fight.
Of course, no stranger to seeing teams blown out the server. August got to cast that Fnatic Gambit game. But playing to the level of their opponent, does that mean that, you know, we can find some parallels between these two? Duncan's described them as Virtus.Pro playing as a team, playing as a unit, playing as a family. That's kind of the word, that's the buzzword that we describe SK, this whole family vibe. Is there some similarities between the two, August?
I mean, I watched the Fur video, the Spotlight video that was made by Valve recently, and that was actually, you know, that tugged at your heartstrings a little bit.
Chopping onions.
Sleeping in the same bed, sleeping on the floor, in a room that they didn't even have enough room to actually, you know, play properly. Taco's telling us, saying his mouse is hitting the wall. I mean, they've gone through it all, SK, and well, VP, they're the longest standing roster that we have right now in CSGO, so you can almost say that they're in a bit of a similar boat because they've had to struggle in the low times, and they've had the highs, and now, you know, they've managed to just survive it all, and they really have gelled as this roster that can always put up a fight. I'm going to say it is going to be a war, but I'm still going to side with SK on this, just because I think that there is no weakness in the SK lineup. The only thing that's going to go wrong for SK is if they get overconfident and they let that come back and bite them. But they should be confident in their ability to close out versus VP.
A couple of individuals that you don't normally find ourselves talking about did show up yesterday, Duncan. We were talking a lot, you know, you got hyped about the Snacks Wonderland, Mr. Snack showing up. He wasn't necessary for Virtus.Pro to find victory yesterday.
No, he actually really wasn't. And what's interesting about this team is that you've seen in this particular tournament, they also have that factor. Again, I'll throw the ball to NIP again. When NIP did this return and won DreamHack Malmö, which is like they hadn't won in over a year and a half, and everyone thought they were dead and buried, one of the key players was actually Exist. He came from just being a player who, in his role, was actually kind of struggling, and he had a fantastic tournament. Likewise, I've actually seen Taz play some amazing maps at this tournament. He really had that like old man strength in some of those games. Neo obviously has had his moments. He's been more like setting people up in general, but I actually feel like for a team that's been slumping and has had even some of the stars struggle, I feel like they're actually pretty well-rounded in terms of who can still step up. And I don't think anyone's washed up on this team just yet.
Certainly not washed up. And of course, it is almost time for these teams to meet the Lanxess Arena. We are going to be throwing these players through the center of the arena, and they're going to have to make that dangerous walk all the way to that semi-final stage. The first team that we introduce is defending world champions. It's none other than SK Gaming. Their family is here. There's a lot on the line, and now they have to step through Virtus.Pro to get to that grand final stage. Let's meet them. It's SK Gaming to the Lanxess Arena.
The reigning world champions, coming all the way from Brazil. Give it up, Cologne, for SK Gaming.
Fallen described his venture in Columbus as one of the best feelings in the world. And now he has traveled again around the world, this time to Cologne, to give it one more shot. They are in the semi-finals now and just one step away to getting to the grand final 2 times in a row. Can the Brazilians do it? Can they set this arena on fire? We'll be finding out, but of course, they need an opponent. These Brazilians, they've worked through it all. They, of course, did encounter a problem in Columbus versus Virtus.Pro, conceding the only map of the tournament to this Polish side, and now we will have the great pleasure. Oh, look at that, pandering to the fans. Their coach, Zeus, has got himself a German flag on his back. And now Virtus.Pro is looking to get off the Brazilians back in this semi-final. Let's meet the Polish side that always seem to make the crowd fall in love. It's Virtus.Pro.
Please welcome to the arena, the Polish powerhouse. Here's Virtus.Pro.
They got to show them flag. They got to show them. There's an entire corner here in the Lanxess Arena dedicated to Virtus.Pro. They were here last year, and now they have the opportunity to cheer for their favorite side again. There is an abundance of Virtus.Pro shirts in this crowd. Pasha and Taz, 2 players who have highlighted it time and time again, just how far a crowd can get them in these tournaments. Of course, alongside them, their coach Cuban. We have seen big works from them, and now they stand just 1 game away. Of course, it's no easy task, and we fortunately have the opportunity to talk through this just a little bit. Virtus.Pro and SK are on the stage, and we're going to hear from them a couple of words about how they feel ahead of this semi-final.
Yes, thanks very much, Alex. Fallen firstly with you guys. Semi-final again, second one in a row. Looking for a championship in front of a sort of home crowd here, but there's a lot of passionate fans for SK Gaming cheering for you.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Again, the crowd's here. Virtus.Pro crowd's here as well. I have my family, I have everyone supporting us, SK. It's going to be a great game.
Tough opponent, Virtus.Pro. Soren said they're going to bring a war to you guys. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. They're always a tough opponent. We respect those guys so much. They're legends in Counter-Strike, as I said. But when it comes here to the stage, we need to do our best. We need to give you 100% and try to bring the win for home.
All right, good luck. Taz, my friend, how you doing? Everything okay?
Yeah, all good. All good.
You got a whole army over in the corner here. All Virtus.Pro supporters, plenty in the crowd. It's got to help you guys. The magic of the majors helps every time, right?
I think that everyone knows that this game is not going to be a normal game. This is going to be war!
In terms of the way that you match up against SK, do you feel like this is your moment, this is your major?
We played so many years on so many big stages. This is just another game for us, but this one is very special. This one is against a team who went against all the adversity we had to go through when we were younger, even more. So I feel like we are playing against people who understand how much this game means to us, and this warms my heart that we will play on such a big level, emotional level, and I just can't wait to play.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, Virtus.Pro versus SK Gaming.
Awesome from Taz. He has made a fantastic point. These two teams are prime examples of the passion for Counter-Strike. It's come so far. We as gamers have come so far. We've just sold out the Lanxess Arena here in Cologne, and now we get to enjoy some fantastic Counter-Strike between a Brazilian side and the Poles Virtus.Pro. Let's talk a little more as to how this one's going to go down. I have, of course, some Counter-Strike experts on the desk. Janko, you have the great privilege of starting us off between SK and Virtus.Pro. Taz says, you know, he starts talking a bit about the history of these two teams, saying that they've both been through similar adversities. What's he talking about there?
Well, he's referencing to how him and Neo perhaps started off their careers. They were actually in the two best Polish teams on the opposite sides, really way back, I think something like 2002, 2003. And then they realized instead of fighting against each other, they could just join forces, become the best team in Poland and try and fight internationally. And that's what they did. These guys have been in the top of the Counter-Strike scene for more than 10 years. So definitely showing that, you know, that they're here to stay. They've shown a lot of stamina being at the top of the CS scene for so many years.
August, I saw you applauding. You feeling those goosebumps during that interview?
Absolutely, man. And this is what made Cologne 2015 so special, is the fact that this crowd is just amazing. You actually have the Virtus.Pro cheering section here again. Those guys were going nuts last year. I'm expecting some big noise to come out of them for this match, and it's so sick to see the hype. Last year we had a French cheering section. They're here again, but unfortunately the French teams let us down.
They went to the ESL shop, got some Virtus.Pro shirts.
They let us down, but we'll see for the next time. But still, so sick to see the cheering sections again, man. That is really what made last year so special. I'm so happy that we have it again this year.
Defending world champions SK Duncan. This is an opportunity to get two in a row. Would this be kind of legendary status? And I don't mean in the terms of major, but this would make them, cement them as legends of Counter-Strike Go.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we've had a number of different teams who won the major who we don't necessarily think of as contender for the best of all time. I mean, the envious team that won Cluj Napoca, okay, they were the best team in that tournament, certainly. Maybe the best in the run-up to it, but you can make your cases for the other teams. You can say they weren't even the best of the year. I think if they win this major here and you've got first two majors out of the year, so you're already going to have won the most majors in the year. Then you're going to be back-to-back champions, same lineup as well, no changes. And this time, if anything, you're having to play harder opponents. You know, you had a couple of softer runs there because you got to play against Liquid, who maybe wasn't the same level as the Liquid you see now. So I think if they win this one, now there's no excuse anymore. There's no Olaf Meister excuse. There's no Guardian excuse anymore. If you win this one, you're not only just the best team in the world, but you probably do cement this as this will be the SK Gaming era.
This will be the indisputable SK Gaming era. Same thoughts from you, Janko. This is it for SK. Should they get to that grand final? Should they complete this second consecutive major? No questions asked. We have the best team in the world.
No doubt about it, and I think it cements their name in the history books as well. They've had great showings ever since their last roster change in November of last year. They made the playoffs and the finals of countless tournaments this year. They managed to actually start winning them as well, won the biggest one at Columbus. So this might be, as Duncan pointed out, the beginning of the new SK era.
And this SK era is always dictated by those battlegrounds, those maps where this fight does ensue. And so, Duncan, you're our resident expert on these vetoes, and so let's throw it over to you to talk through.
Right, here's the thing. Since yesterday, it was Janko's birthday, you know. I know for a lot of his life, he's looked up to me. He's wanted to be me. I wanted to put the shoe on the other foot. So basically, okay. Well, Alex, this series, I think that this series is going to be about the Mirage It's going to be our Mirage. So here's the thing. Both teams, fantastic Mirage teams. I mean, this is the team that invented the modern-day Mirage, if you think about it. Virtus.Pro, always strong there. It's actually an incredibly strong map for them now. Won 10 of the last 12 times they've played there. Never let them down. But the other team who made their name on Mirage, when they were Luminosity, that was their upset map. You could still beat anyone on that map. Now, they're one of the best teams in the world. One of these two teams is going to pick it, and that's the real map there. If Virtus.Pro can contend on that map, Virtus.Pro maybe can even win this thing. So, okay, SK Gaming picks Cobble. Cobble's still a fantastic map for Virtus.Pro. Won something like, I think, like 4 or the last 5 in a row. They're really on a little heater there. Virtus.Pro, though, says, no, we're actually going to go with Nuke as a surprise pick. I guess they were watching that Flipside game, and they said, you know what? If we've seen the flip side, but here's the thing. We've been given a gift from God on the last map. Because if it gets to Mirage, this is the ultimate battleground. And if Virtus.Pro can beat the SK Gaming guys on Mirage, the Virtus.Pro deserve to go to this final.
Oh, August, you are celebrating at that randomizer. You get your Mirage. That already tells me you are expecting a third map in this affair.
I am. I see it going the distance. I mean, you know, Duncan and I had this discussion last night. We really tried to get into it deep as far as, you know, is it going to be 2-0, is it going to be 2-1? Can't see a world where it's not going 3 maps. And for it to end on Mirage, just after that build-up to the randomizer, you came through this time.
Yanko knew.
Thank Yanko knew.
Good old fake Yanko.
He knew that.
No. Let's talk to real Yanko then for a moment.
Man.
Another nuke. What happens? We get to the Lanxess Arena, all of a sudden, the nuke curveball comes out.
Honestly, I didn't expect the veto to go this way at all. First surprise for me is Virtus.Pro not vetoing Dust 2. Then the biggest surprise after that is SK not picking it. They do play the map. They've brought it back into their map pool after removing Cash, and VP is notoriously bad on Dust 2. That's why it's their go-to veto. So, but that tells me is that SK has a clear plan coming into Cobble. They've seen VP play on it. They probably feel more confident on that map than on Dust 2. But VP as well, with the nuke pocket pick, I'm not really sure. I was expecting them to pick Train, because that's one of the maps that historically has done wonders for them.
That just shows me also that Virtus.Pro have a plan there. And their plan here is, okay, you're probably better than us, SK, so we're going to make this a different series. We're going to float the Dust 2 there, dare you to pick it. You don't pick it, okay, you're not confident on that map. We're going to pick Nuke, and then who knows what can happen on this map.
Who knows what can happen? Well, someone who certainly, well, is looking forward to a full 3 maps is the people over in the crowd. They were making so much noise for the map veto alone. I'm so scared about what's going to happen when this actual game starts. Mitch, you're hanging out with them. What's going on down there?
Alex, this is exactly what happens when Virtus.Pro get into their first semi-final at a major since Cologne last year. The atmosphere is heating up, and I'm sure it's only going to get better. There truly is nothing like this event. But I have managed to get onto a couple of gentlemen who've been in the crowd as well, and they've been watching some of the games. So Luke, talk to me. You're from here in Germany, but you're supporting SK Gaming.
Yeah, I'm supporting SK Gaming. And they are the best team in the world, and although it's a great map mix, and it will be a Super 6 series with all 3 maps, I believe Virtus.Pro, they're surprised with their pick of Nuke, and they will get Nuke, but SK will close it out on Mirage.
Can we get this guy on the analyst desk? I'm sure we got a spot for him. Thank you for your thoughts there, Luke. He thinks SK will go all the way. The Polish corner's not happy about it, but they'll have a chance to make their voices heard. Jan, you're a little bit newer to esports in general. This is your first CS event, of course. So obviously, you do work with Luke. That's why you're here. How does this feel to be in the middle of this crowd right now?
Well, from what I have seen so far, I can say it's absolutely amazing. It's just stunning, the feeling, the players, absolutely amazing.
And who are you hoping that's going to win this one?
I didn't understand the question, sorry.
Who do you hope is going to win this match?
Well, I would say SK.
Another SK fan here. Then there aren't too many in the crowd, to be fair. We found a couple. Well, the people have spoken. It's now back to the desk, of course, to continue to break this one down. Alex, take us in.
Cheers, Mitch, indeed. Well, it's clear the crowd has found its favourite. And as always, as human beings, we do love an underdog. Virtus.Pro undoubtedly coming into this one against defending world champions SK Gaming as somewhat of an underdog. And we will start with our prediction process. Gentlemen, Cobblestone. Yeah, this has already freaked you out. You know, this map veto has already been a bit of a spanner in the works. And the Dust 2 not cropping up. But just the first map. We'll start with you, Duncan, and work our way down.
Great map for both teams. Like I said, Virtus.Pro actually, this is one of the maps they're on kind of like a winning streak on. No one stopped them. We already saw SK Gaming play this map earlier in the tournament, have a reasonably close affair with G2 there, who's a decent enough team on the map. I think this is just a battle of the T sides. And so even though I love Virtus.Pro, I think they're a fantastic team on the T side, and I think this will be a double digits, both sides map. I think this is going to be an SK slight margin. I think SK's got the better T side. I think they have to prove it as well against Virtus.Pro.
They are no doubt going to be tested. Will the plow get going, Yenko?
I feel it will get going, but in the end it will get stopped, at least on this map. So on Cbble, I feel that SK, seeing how this is their pick, I feel that they are really well prepared to face VP on it, so I will give this map to SK.
SK, they made this choice. This is the battleground they chose versus the Polish foe. August, you're going to join the desk with their predictions?
I can definitely see Fallen and Zeus looking at the map that was played before VP versus Liquid on the map, studying that, seeing the shape that VP are in, maybe trying to predict some of the adjustments that will be made. As we have the Pasha biceps cam while I'm talking. Thank you very much. So, SK, I mean, I think that VP right now are just going to be lighting it up, and it's going to be SK who are going to take the first map.
Believing in the Brazilians. Cobblestone certainly will be a fantastic way to start off our first semi-final here in ESL 1 Cologne. So much support for the Polish side. And I think it's almost time to get into this, boys. You can see the huddles are going down. It's just kind of time for closing thoughts. We've got so excited about Cobblestone. Nuke is to look forward to as well. We are all leaning towards SK in this one. I just want you to give me a player to watch. Every single one of you, a player to watch into this one. Coldzera, one of the best players in the world. Is that where you're leaning?
I'm going to go with a Virtus.Pro player.
Ooh.
I think if Pasha gets his AWP rolling in this game, then it will be a very interesting affair. I think that's, his style is so unlike any other AWPer. He goes so aggressive, so close range. And this is a map where if you play on that plateau area, you better be going close range. You better be willing to go for no scopes and crazy pushing through smokes. If it's old classic Pasha in that sense, I think we can have a fantastic map.
And August, you seemed like you had something to say when Pasha's name came up.
No, that's exactly the point that I would have made. He plays the key part of that map on B. I mean, obviously Drop plays a part on the B side as well, but that if you can shut down plateau and really control that space, it's so hard to get your game rolling there. SK, though, are impeccable at getting control there. However, you know, Cold comes in with that off of his own, so it's going to be very tough to see.
Get your game rolling is exactly what we're about to do. Our semi-final is about to begin. The Access Arena is about to make a whole lot of noise as ESL 1 Cologne semi-finals starts right now between SK and Virtus.Pro.
Welcome to ESL 1 Cologne.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The semifinal between SK and Virtus.Pro, two of the most popular teams in the world, in front of what is arguably the best crowd in the world. And interestingly, SK, despite being originally a German organization, it's Virtus.Pro with most of the fans here.
Yeah, it was the same story last year we had as well. A lot of Polish fans here, they're always cheering them on, and it really helped them last time in Cologne as well. They got to the semi-finals. That's the last time in a major they actually got to the semi, so that's quite a cool storyline in itself. They've replicated that form. Can they get to the grand final, Matt? I'm not so sure right now, but the maps make things interesting. That's what it is.
Maps makes things super interesting. I mean, that veto, no one would have expected. That's a curveball for sure. We're seeing it. They said on the desk, this nuke coming out late in the tournament. People trying to take advantage of it. Best of three.
We spoke about this just before we came on air, right? The fact that nuke is at such new unknown quantity that people are putting in as that pocket pick. The veto system does work for the underdogs in that sense. Nuke is certainly something no one's comfortable on right now. If it gets to that, and well, if we will get to that, I feel like VP can pick it up, and then we've got Mirage to finish things off. But here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, the first map. I know you're ready for this one. Let's blow the bloody roof off the Lanxess Arena. It will be VP starting the CT side, SK on the T side. And we'll get straight into this one, the first semi-final of the day. SK, 3 sets of armor, 2 utility players, we Cold Zero and Fallen with the smoke grenades and flashbangs. And here we go then. History is about to be made.
And Virtus.Pro against a team yesterday playing with their entire heart in the form of a strawless rather than their set 5. This time they go up against heart and a 5-team formation that is extremely scary. A bit of a B-side presence right now from SK, but interestingly, look at Snax. He's already pushed out into the courtyard over at A, which means this rotation, it could be confirmed. Fur goes down into drop, but a nice flash through. Pash is able to pick up the first kill, but Fur does walk in. He'll trade it out in a second one as well. Taz with the rock flash in. Neo's blind, needs to get through the door, can't do it. FNX is gonna pull this round back. A 4 versus 2. It's Bialy and Snax. And Bialy's waiting at Chicken the whole time. He's just been waiting for this opportunity. He's trying to make sure they aren't going to check this off. Spots bomb being thrown over Caitlyn. The shot does finally do so, but has to reload. And the reload, it's going to buy time for Snax to arrive, but he's already low. Bialy, he's got the headshot. He's got 5 HP to Snax. Bialy's done all the work to make this possible, but he's gotten eliminated. It's Fur again. A 3rd kill for him, and Snax with 5. 54 seconds, they know he's on the stairwell. He's got to hit 2 headshots to make this work, and it's not going to happen.
The simple B play comes in from SK, straight in toward the side. It's actually Pasha to open things up, but Fur comes to life with that Glock, finds the headshots, but it's Bialy. We always talk about him, Matt. That chicken coop position always overlooked. If you can hide there behind the smoke as well, you can see that's exactly what SK did. They threw one of their smokes towards that back position just to eradicate that risk at the start of the round. What they forgot to check, though, was anyone actually sitting inside? Bialy made things very interesting indeed. It was Fur, though, who was the hero of the round. Great shots from drop-down room. And we go to round number 2. And it's going to be the force spike from VP here. Just Neo, who hasn't invested fully, but Pasha with the scout. The analyst described how aggressive he likes to be and going for those crazy shots, and he'll be towards the B side for this time. But SK Gaming, they have only got 1 rifle here, so this could be a little bit of a problem, especially against the armored players as well. Just FNX with the AK-47 in hand, and there's a 3-man stack towards the B side. Snax and Taz, no snake formation this time, famous for on Cobble. And it's going to be SK just working and dissecting parts of the map as Taka gets towards upper platform, but Fur, he's in drop there.
And Fur again is going to open up Bialy, the one that he finds with the MAC-10. Counter flash comes through. It's Taco that finds Neo trying to peek in after it, though, and this time they've already spotted Pasha at the chicken coop, hence the Molotov from Taco. Force him out, take him down, well executed. Fur turns Taz. It's just Snax again that remains, but this time it's not a 1 versus 2, it's a 1 versus 5, and P250 in armor. Try as you might to hold it, 57 seconds.
Yeah, it's SK using those SMGs very well at that point. We know the drop-down room is one of the safest places to go to those close-range encounters. FNX now, he's watching towards middle. At this point, they haven't given anything away to VP, so it's not a massive deal. They just let him live. Cold Zero is going to go down, but that is the information spotted. And as I mentioned before, FNX should finish things off there. He's got the AK, so a nice clean round from SK. Only lost 1 player. That really does help going forward into the grand scheme of things. Against these top teams on the big stages, it's always very scary on those second rounds with the armored players, the 5-7, the P250s, especially a scout in there as well. SK managed to come out on top. 2-0 here. This will be the full eco for VP at this point. They need to look to the future and see how they're going to maybe have the AWP, and you can see no one's got fantastic money. There's Neo who didn't really invest heavily into that round. They picked up a couple of HEs this time. We do see that quite commonly on the CT ecos, putting up that airstrike potential towards that upper platform, but it's very difficult to time correctly. At this point, SK, 4 SMG still, just gonna be farming the cash, man. Make sure they get their $600 per kill, and they set themselves up for a really successful T-side campaign that the Brazilian sides are so famed for.
MAC-10 on Cold Zero. Lots 2 on the site, tries to do further damage. It's Fur again, trying to enter in long shot onto Bialy, but he's down to 16. They still have to come around the corner at B. Now they will in the alley. to support him, and thankfully so, because Fallen finding snacks and first still alive as a result of it. Taco's going to take Neo pretty straightforward. Another round, though, where they are very efficient on this SK side, and they're building the bank. Now the question is, do they go for the bonus round?
They absolutely will. There's no reason not to. They'd be throwing away money at this point, throwing it into the wind if you were to upgrade all those SMGs. They might get another AK just to boost them, maybe swap out a couple of the MAC-10s potentially, but it's an opportunity just to do something very fast. We saw how dangerous they can be in that drop-down room, and Cold Zero dying as well. That confirms another AK will be picked up. So if anything, that actually kind of, believe it or not, that kind of helps them a little bit more in the next round because they'll have 2 AKs now. 3 SMGs still, and Pasha does pick up the MAC-10. That's not so useful for the CTs. It can be efficient in the close range capacity, but it's the run and gun potential that's so good with that weapon. Going through the smokes and finding people that are surprised by you.
There's something that actually can be more important about him having this SMG right now, is that if he can pick up a kill with it, it's $600 per kill. If they want to try and get the AWP out, he needs to pick up 1 or 2 right now. So he's going to upgrade it regardless. He'll go to a rifle. You're right, the MAC-10 carried over against armor, it's going to be nothing. But if he can find kills right now, then this is big, because that means the CT sided off, but you know what? SK is fully aware of it. They're not even pursuing him aggressively. They're just going to let the time expire, let that bomb detonate, and as you say, they'll move into the next round, potentially go for the bonus.
So for new viewers here, I'm sure we have a lot. The bonus round basically means in the 4th round, it's traditional to have the AK-47, that's what's known as the gun round. The SMG is much lesser weapon, so there is an option that they're actually going in for this one. So there are going to be 2 SMGs. They've upgraded to an AWP, but there's a 3rd AWP as well, a 3rd AK as well, but it's going to be Taco just the SMG, so they are going to be upgrading. They want to make sure they're guaranteeing these rounds. It's interesting to know because obviously the first gun round for the CTs, especially if you forced up on the 2nd, that means you're going to be weak. You have less incendiary grenades, and I guess they're trying to go, actually not a single SMG round, they've gone completely against the curve. They want to make sure they have huge potential here to win this first round. They know how important it is, so not trying to build economy, just trying to get rounds on the board at this stage. So we'll be 5 and 4 for VP, no AWP, and you can see at this point, SK can just run a full devo here. They know they're limited with the grenades, so this boost, we're seeing more and more now, this new step areas come towards that upper platform. Round number 4, nothing really to report as of yet. There are 4 players for SK Gaming towards the B side of the map, and FNX is holding for the flanks towards middle.
The alley.
Not a single kit here on the CT side, so if the bomb gets planted, they're in a world of trouble at that point.
Yeah, just flashbangs. Pasha has 1 smoke, but that's it. That's the last one left to try and slow them down. We can already see where they've been used. That last one on the arch side, a drop. Once the one window came out, Bialy was expecting a presence and a pressure, but it's SK that wants to bleed the CTs out and the time as well. Pasha, here it is, last smoke. 1 out in front of it, though. They can still push through. He still has no vision, so all right, that's fine. You smoke us off. He's still got a bit of an opening here. Taco's trying to utilize the gap to make sure he spots in toward the arch. And then flashes over. Could be a huge possibility right now. They've got lots to work with on the SK side. Molotovs as well, 1 to the arch. Clear out the stairs. Taco's in the own flames, but that's fine. He's just working on the angle. The second one could go to the chicken coop, but through the smoke, Neo does spot him first. And now he can turn his attention back to drop. A second one for Neo. Holding well. Can't move, can't shuffle. 1 step backwards, he's exposed, and Fallen's gonna find him. It's down to Pasha in the site, but they still have the man advantage to work with on this VP side. And Bialy, he'll add to that. Pasha nearly lining them up, but FNX gets the shot instead. Have they figured out this triangulated position so far from Virtus.Pro, because Bialy wants to bait them in and let Taz do the work, but he's gone down. Taz, he only manages 1. It's a trade, 4 seconds, no plant. It's not possible. They know it with the shot coming out. Snacks does not need to move, and Virtus.Pro will pick up their first round.
It's a big round for VP to win. We said how much of a struggle it is after you force in the second. You can see them limited when SK actually come into the site, but it's Neo holding strong. The veteran of CS finds 2 kills and slows them down just enough. You can see there was only 10 seconds remaining when they actually committed to the bomb site there. They did just enough. The problem is, though, Matt, SK Gaming have accumulated a big amount of cash going forward, and in fact it came down to a 1 versus 1, and actually the last remaining player dropped as well. So even though Corsair had lost the round, him finding that last kill was pretty massive. You can see that reflected on the buy right now. 2 Max 7s, 2 Famases, no kits, barely any grenades, just 1 M4 in the hands of Neo. This is a massive round. This could be a double eco for VP going forward. They need to try and hold on here. It's going to be very difficult indeed, but Pasha, he's no slouch with the Max 7. He's waiting by the broken wall and seeing if he can get this first frag.
And Pasha gets 1, but it's Bialy. Oh, the wrong person. He takes down Pasha. It's Bialy, though, to make up for it with spades. He takes down Cold and Fallen. 4 goes to Taz, and VP will collect the round, only losing 1 to the team kill.
There it is. There's always questions around Bialy, especially on Cobble, whether he can actually perform. He's had some very poor performances this year especially, but he seems to be firing on all cylinders today. Takes 2 down in the Famous. We said Pasha was good at that map 7. He gets 1 as the entry. It slows down SK Gaming. Team kill does come in reserve, but it's not going to be a huge problem here, as only VP, that was the only kill they actually suffered. SK not picking up a single one, so they're going to be building their money up now. Like I said, that's a huge round for the Poles to pick up. SK Gaming on the eco now, Tech-9s, CZs, P250s, a couple of sets of body armor. They have been focusing towards that B side throughout this game. Looking like they're going to try their hand towards middle. FNX somehow got towards the connector.
Bialy's going to take him down, though. They do get the awareness. Snacks a little bit limited here, a little bit out in the open. Cutting off inside danger, but he's done big damage. Not only that, he has taken Fallen. You see it, Taz taking Taco easily with the help of that shotgun. Back inside of the A site. Got the rotations covered. They don't even need to pull Pasha or Neo over because it's, no matter how you look at it, 2 versus 2 entering onto the site itself, and Fur on 12 HP. Pretty straightforward for Virtus.Pro to close this one out. They're just going to try and wait a little bit longer, SK, to see if anyone makes a mistake on VP's side.
VP don't want to give anything away here. Like we discussed, their money's still building up. It's still in its infancy. So keeping 4 players alive, there's no need to hunt. Just hold the bomb site, stick together, 2 on either side, and that's absolutely fine. And try and slow them down as soon as you spot them. The kills aren't as valuable at this point. Obviously, they have the rifles and SMGs, no real cash to farm here. VP of the Plons have got players to lose at this point. So SK, like you said, biding their time. They can get a plan out of this, that'll be amazing. Bialy, he's got other ideas. Takes down Fur, but Cold's error, he definitely replies. Now they're doing 3 versus 1, and they know.
Oh, the dink on Taz as well. Cold, he's got this back. Suddenly a 1 versus 2 from what was a 1 versus 4. He's elected to pick up the shotgun instead. Nate takes him down to 55. Neo showing shotgun. Not all the pellets can go through. And Neo will get the kill. 3-3. Virtus.Pro bring this level.
Yeah, there was no real chance of SK winning that round, but finding 2 kills, that's pretty important in the 2 versus 4. So they managed to get something out of it. This is where things start to get really interesting now. Both teams fully equipped. You can see Fallen, he has brought out the AWP. Famed is potentially the best AWPer on the planet right now. So let's see what kind of work he can do here. It's going to be Snacks, interesting enough. He's got the AWP on the CT side. There's always some inconsistencies with VP. Every different event, they seem to have Pasha having a go, Neo, the main AWPer for a long time, and Snacks, who's always the secondary role, but still very capable of getting those opening picks, and that's exactly what he's going for right now. Smoke down towards mid. Fallen's waiting for him, though. That smoke does give him cover, but Fallen, he's aware this could be a possibility.
Oh, it's so close, and Snacks will spot it. Just sees it at the end as the smoke started to fade away, and it's now going to be the first pick again for Virtus.Pro. They can slow things down a little bit. Fur trying to get over top of the drop room. Flashbang goes in to try and push Bialy back away from that window position, but right now it's a 2-man position at long rather than drop itself, so Pasha and Neo trying to hold, and Neo on the stairwell to do so.
No real estate gathered for the terrorists as of yet. You can see them holding up in a very default stance, waiting for the CT smokes to dissipate, but you can see Pasha there. Really tight position towards the close after. The interesting thing is that the terrorists don't actually have any Molotov to flush him out, so he's in a great spot right now. Neo can actually bait him in as well. He actually dinks him. This is a good chance for them to actually capitalize. Pasha could have based at that point, but wants to keep his information hidden. Attacker down to 7 HP. VP don't really need to work too hard here. They know they've dinked another player. Just hold back on the bomb sites, allow them to make the final move.
Neo's got a Molotov to try and counter in the push. Not one available on that SK side, so watching Pasha in that arch position, it could be crucial when they do walk in. Flash through, trying to take over this window from Taz. He's got 2, and he's jumping up Cold Zero. He's got 3. Bomb down in his hands as well. It's Taco, 7 HP, 1 versus 5. This is when you would pray if you desperately needed to help SK get around, and he's going to try and do what he can here. Walking over the edge, though. Neo down below, jumping, gives it away. Good quick shot onto Neo midair. Now they swarm onto his position, and Taz, he'll close it. 4 kills total for him.
Fantastic work from Taz. You can see it was all down to Snacks getting that first kill, rattling them, taking down the in-game leader as well. Fallen drops at the start of the round, and SK Gaming looking a bit cagey here, Matt. They're going towards drop-down room, and that's a really tight choke point to send 3 players out of. They're just trying to challenge there towards Taz with 1 flashbang. They got completely shut down. It's a very defensive position. We saw a lot of players utilize that beneath that window this tournament, and it's so strong. It's just a horrible angle for the terrorists to try and find you on. You're basically running into the CT crosshairs. You can see on your screen right now. Taz finds 4, and there's another eco here for SK. VP have taken the lead. It's 4-3. Tech-9s, P250s, and this will be a set piece by the looks of things. They've got 4 smokes, and that can be utilized towards the B site to just try and get a plant down this one. There's very few plants, in fact. So we'll see how this execution works out for SK this time.
The T side as well for SK. Virtus.Pro taking the lead early and the economic advantage. It's crucial. And Taz again, same thing, lines up 4. Don't you dare walk through that window, because Taz will just shut it every single time. It's FNX versus the world right now.
You'd have thought they'd learned that lesson from the last round, but they've given Taz the ace. Way to boost this guy's confidence. 5 kills this round, 4 in the round before. And we're going to number 9 here. It's going to be SK Gaming looking like they don't really know what to do at this point. It's still very early days, but the AWP comes out once again, but Fallen yet to really start firing here. He's got 2 kills. And Virtus.Pro, they've turned up in the semi-final map.
There was questions about that because yesterday against Astralis, it went to overtime twice, and no one would have expected that.
Weakened Astralis as well. Like with their coach playing and another stand-in, I thought VP wouldn't be able to step up to SK Gaming in any sort of manner, but the match made things interesting. Cbble was a given towards SK, in my opinion, but this one looked like it's holding up. It's going to be another slow default here from SK. Holding toward the B-hole once again. FNX watching the flanks, and it's falling this time, not towards middle. He's going to try and get that first pick in the drop-down area. It's a very difficult angle to face. And just hold this tight corner. Hopefully, there's someone just walks into his cross at this point. With Bialy, he's the one beneath the window this time. Taz opted to move elsewhere.
So 5 rounds is a full loss bonus. Guns out this time for SK. But they've got to start collecting these, and efficiency starts to be a problematic figure in all of this. If you consider a reset coming in, has Fallen already down in drop, is going to use that AWP to help clear out that B site, but Bialy this time watching the back of window, and no one else dropping down with him. It's basically him to get the opening pick. That's what they're relying on, and he comes so close yet so far. Down to 56, tagged up. Taz, guess what? Back at the window again. It's now been 10 kills in 3 rounds from Taz in that position. Pasha, he's got Taco down. There's no entry. SK's getting nothing rolling, and this is unlike SKT's side.
Yeah.
It's usually so execution-based. They're not finding anything to work with.
They're looking for the picks, and Fallen has given opportunities, but he's not hitting the shots right now. 5 on 3, round pretty much over at this stage. It comes down to players like Fur. He's got control of the drop-down room, but look how defensive VP are being right now. Pasha still finding shots out through the smoke. He gets Caldera, 5 on 2. 20 seconds remaining. FNX doing what he can, but there's so little to work with here.
Molotov flush Pasha shot through smoke. But as you say, still so little to work with. Flashout does catch Bialy, but a tag coming in from long, and Neo not being attacked by his teammate. He couldn't go for the crossfire position. 9 seconds and 4 to find. It's got 1, but only 1, and already they're bailing out. FNX knows it. No chance, save the AK.
It's not looking good. They're focusing so much on this B-bomb side, particularly towards the drop-down area as well. They're getting shut down left, right, and center. They need to start running some serious defaults here. Let's get control of middle, then towards long A. Push the CTs back, at least take that vision away from them. This time it's actually Snacks and Taz are going towards long A to start, actually facing, getting a ton of info. Okay, no one's here whatsoever. They're doing their standard towards B, and it's just not working out for SK. They're getting shut down as soon as they come out of the choke points, not getting the efficient picks that they're so known for. Fallen AWP is looking pretty weak right now. It's going to be a force buy from SK, in fact. So they go, like you said, maximum loss bonus without the bomb going down. It's very difficult to have these full buys. So 2 Galils, 3 AKs. They've got a limited amount of utility. Smokes are there, but only 1 Molotov. It's round number 10, and this time Snacks is mixing things up once more. He's going to have the orb himself towards long A this time instead of middle. See the bomb going back towards what I'm talking about. They need to try and get some map control first before they come into a bomb site. Get the CTs guessing as to what's coming towards them.
Smoke through on Danger will allow a bit more of a push onto A, as you're saying. Potentially push these CTs back into a better position. Snack's already starting to do exactly that. Taz has to respond. He can't be left there alone, so that's something that's, again, what you're saying, very simple start to the round. Just get something in terms of map control to work with right now for SK.
Just don't let them have a full read on the map. If you're going towards B every single time, not sending anyone towards A, they can just keep their players there. They're not guessing as to what's going on. But look at this position from Pasha right now. He's pushed up right to the deep choke point now on the upper platform. That's pretty unorthodox. It's very rare to see CTs at this stage of the round actually get here.
And 2 people here now as well with Neo.
This boost, this is actually kind of sick. They can set this up and then fall back to the site.
Did Taco hear it? That's the question. He absolutely did. It was so clever, but Taco was there to hear it. And that's the problem with it, because now they've actually given away that position. It's an opening. It's a gift, and Fur, he comes out of drop and cuts off Bialy. It is the B side, and it starts not only from that push, okay, that's one thing, but starts from keeping the other 2 players over on that A site with the early smokes. Now they have rotations cut off. And it is Snacks against 5, and that's important. 5 players still alive right now for SK, because this is going to be a reset. The more they keep alive, the better moving forward.
Absolutely. VP, like I said, that was such an advantageous position. What a great amount of information you can gather there, and that boost, it was clever, but yeah, like you said, I think there was a footstep made, and it's just Fur that finds him and locks it down at that point. It was a little bit disappointing for me. I really want to see how that panned out. And it could have been a very exciting play, but that's an opportunity for SK Gaming to actually get something rolling here. They haven't really done much since the initial pistol victory, and a subsequent round after that. Snacks remains, but taken down by Fur.
All 5 stay alive.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, as we're talking about that maximum loss bonus, that means they get $3,400 going into each round. As soon as you win a round and lose anything after that, you mean you're going to get $1,400. So that means, especially for the CT side, that could mean double ecos, rounds of the pistols, not having the big weapons, but round number 11 comes in, and it's a double AWP setup from VP now. After losing one, they want to mix it up a little bit, change the pace, and it's Neo and Snacks this time. We've discussed this a lot this tournament, Matt. I feel like, especially when it's to be detected, it's one of those setups that's pretty weak on Cbble, in my opinion, probably the least viable out of the entire map pool, but if you can get those first picks and be aggressive, that's when it comes into its own.
Taco already looking out of that B platform position, but he's the only one, again, just trying to make sure they maintain that position this time, knowing that they pushed up with 2 players, Virtus.Pro. And FNX is already watching the flank over on A, but this time they haven't really got aggressive to try and push them back. However, Snacks is still out at that long position. Taz again, in behind the window at drop. Fur this time, it's looking more likely with SK grouping on A. He's going to be the one to hold these rotations in, so if he's successful, he's got 3 players inside B that have to bypass him, and Taz that's still just in the connector, but he's already fading off of this. They're just going to go with a set piece onto the A site instead. Smokes out, Taco waiting to go through. Snack still hasn't called for Taz to come back, and he's slowly coming toward that position. If they can get the smoke out on the door now, there's a chance they hold him out, but if not, he's going to be on balcony with free sight onto the crossing players trying to get to the platform to get the bomb down. Snacks with AWP, just gets back in, but it's only a leg shot on FNX. A nade to try and follow that up, but they've got so much utility put toward his direction. Taz has dropped in. He wants to set the crossfire. He knows he has to because the utility's going to hold everyone else out of the site, but the shots from FNX are brilliant. Both players go down, and now they can easily walk toward and get the bomb down. One last chance as they drop out. It's Pasha that wants to try and foil this. Does find FNX. He's got the help of Neo into one, but Pasha drops as well to fall, and bomb plant coming in. Neo, he's still in the connector.
That was the big kill right there. Fallen finding Pasha. He had an opportunity to deny that bomb pump, and Neo doing what he can now. AWP in hand, hits the first one, but Far will take him down, and the A side so much more successful this time. They did exactly as I described. Get that mid control, push the CTs back. You see Snacks panicking at that point. You could feel the execution coming towards him. The Molotovs dropped on the site. Meant he was in a really disadvantaged position behind that APC. Did land one AWP shot, but it was a leg. Had he killed that first player, could have been a different story there, but FNX is lighting them up on the A bomb site. And we said that was a big round, and VP is reflected in their buy right now. They have been forced down to an eco, and it seems like the success towards the A side has been a lot more beneficial for the Brazilians than towards that B side. Those tight choke points not really working in their favor this time.
Flash in FNX, smoke as well. Molotov already bought him danger, just trying to push them back. Finally back down to pistols. VP 6 rounds though already.
Yeah, you can see now it's going to be SK working toward long A, just dissecting the map right now. Taco finds Taz first, lovely shot to take him down as well. Could be a reply though. Snacks gets the headshot towards Taco, but looks like that's all they're going to get. It's going to be the 5-on-2 now. Neo and Pasha remain. They're both towards the B side, and Fur, he's listening out, hungry to find the remaining players.
Eyes firmly fixed for Cold toward. Okay, the arch, but suddenly things start to shift a little bit and get a bit more uncomfortable. One kill far away from the A site, mind you, but still with Neo trying to make a case. It's down to just 3 players left for SK, but bomb planted. Pasha has an AK. How much is he going to commit? Is this AK worth carrying over? Well, another kill on Cold. No help, no kit. He's still not likely to win the round and not going to go for it, but wants to find more exit kills and economic damage to SK.
In terms of the big picture, these kills are important. There's only, like I said, 3 rounds after this, but if they do manage to build a couple of rounds up, that means in round number 15 could be difficult, problematic for SK Gaming in terms of the full buy. Pasha looking to get another hit. He's gone under 17 HP, but there it is. PD50 comes out, takes down Fallen. Can't win the round, but he's done so much work here. 3 kills, just a PD50 to start with.
And an AK carried over. Very well done. FNX has the AWP, thankfully saved over for SK. But this goes from having them around the 6K mark on everyone. If none of those people died, they would have basically 2 rounds in hand. Now they go back down to having to reinvest here and potentially even facing a break. And however, Cold and Fallen are pretty good.
Fallen's
off,
like he was at almost 10k before this round started, so he's okay. I think they'll probably be fine going forward. If they lose this one, it's going to be problematic for sure. But VP now back on the single orb setup. It's going to be Snacks this time. Has been aggressive, looking for those first picks, primarily towards middle and long A. Looks like long A will be where he's heading again towards, and we'll see whether this actually works out for him. Like I said, it's normally one of the tightest and hardest angles for a CT to face. But maybe another B play coming in from the Brazilians here. Pasha ready for him though. Here, footstep on the other side, and wants to make his broken wall position work out for him. Sprays through the smoke. Actually does a ton of damage towards FNX. Grenade coming in to try and finish him off. Doesn't connect. But that rattles SK Gaming for sure.
For top drop. 0 as well, already inside that B corridor. Fallen waiting to watch flank, and Snacks is slowly getting aggressive out toward A long. We know he's the style of player that if he sees a window, he'll take it. He'll try and cut this off, get this information, but right now, focus again goes to B, and Pasha on the stairwell. How soon does he try and move on this? The first Molotov clears out the arch. There's a second one in the hands of Cold Zero that could go toward that stairwell. However, we do know if missed thrown, there's room to move on this, and a good smoke and flash. He can actually go toward the arch now, and they've already think they check it, but he gets caught by Fallen in the open. It was a clever idea from Pasha, but Taz is gonna pull back on Fur. Neo in the cranny, but caught in the open. Flash goes in, he's able to get behind the statue, keeps himself alive. He's got a chance here to walk back out. He's trying desperately. He does find one, but he's gotta go for the reload. And as he does, Taz comes in to give him the support play. They've got the man advantage on the Virtus.Pro side, and they still have not entered into the site for SK. And Neo's trying to find further information as they've lost track of the second of the two at that long position. They consider drop for a moment, but it still isn't long. And FNX entry in, good shot from Snacks, bomb down, 14 seconds, Cold Zero caught out, and Taz is gonna get it.
Taz is stepping up time and time again on this B bomb site. SK can't get it rolling there whatsoever. They get the opening kill, and then someone from VP steps up. This time it's Taz and Neo, the old guard, working together in that crossfire. And SK can't reply. They're just running out of time and having to commit to running across. And no plan coming in once again. That's actually affected them. We kind of speculated the money situation wouldn't be great, and they lost this round. So they had enough to give Cold Terror the AWP. 2 pistols, a Galil, and an AK-47. It's round number 14. Could mean absolutely nothing going into the final round, and VP with a very good chance now of winning the half on the CT side, no less. That's important. It's a T-sided map for sure. And it's going to be Firm running through the fire here, taking a ton of damage. Snacks by the first kill, surely Bialy as well. Clean round so far for VP. Snacks is doing some serious work and gets another as well. Why not? Fallen remains.
Fur's going to be slightly upset that he got caught on the edge of that wall. Held him up just a little bit, but gets taken down in the end. Fallen 1 versus 5 AWP. This would be the play of the tournament, let's just say, if he could pull this off. But look at Taz's position. Gun barrel shown, fires into it, and it's now 8 rounds. Virtus.Pro CT side of Cobblestone and Cash. Or excuse me, with Nuke coming up next as well. I mean, let's not get too far away. We've still got a close game, but this is a heck of a map pool for VP.
That was the whole thing. They said just Nuke being there gave them a chance to get a map in this series. Mirage was the unknown factor. It's like, that's going to be an amazing match. I don't think anyone really predicted VP to be taking Cobble here. They're in a fantastic position to do so. With Nuke next as well, that's so much pressure applied to SK. They're going to be like quaking in their boots going to that map. It's going to be insane. But like I said, the last round here of the first half, 4 pistols and a Galil. Surely VP aren't going to let this one slip away. They know how much each round means here in the grand scheme of things. And it's going to be that single all setup once again. Snacks has been lighting them up, and he goes towards long A, and it looks like he wants to push out very aggressively here. He's actually going all the way to the top of middle. He's got so much information here. Spots FNX, but that's information gathered for SK as well. They know they've been discovered towards this B side of the map, and that's going to be reflected in VP's setup. It's been Taz who's been controlling that drop-down run, especially from that window area. Looks like he'll be challenged once again.
The alley. Smokes off arch side again to go passive and leave Taz to be the one to cover the window. Remember what's happened when they've tried this. Are they going to try it again? A little bit of gap in that smoke. You know it's just going to happen. You know someone's going to go this direction and fall, and it's going to be the one to walk into the trap. Taz again. He's just not letting anyone out that way, and that's going to start to play a factor in this because Bialy now just waits for the rest to be pushed toward him, to be funneled that direction, discouraged from daring to try and cut connector, but it is Cold Zero. He picks up 2. Gives himself a chance to walk in. Bialy's going to pull back and shut it down, though, and it's 9-6 for Virtus.Pro.
Taz finishing the half on 18 frags. These guys have turned out to play today. The B side on Cobble is complete lockdown, shut down for refurbishment. It's no chance of entrance here. 9-6 after losing the pistol as well. They were 3-0 down, Matt. What are the chances of that? That's insane. 3 gun rounds is all that was obtained for SK then.
And if we had a heat map of all Taz's kills,
yeah,
they would all be at that window. That was so incredible to watch. But 9-6 Virtus.Pro. SK, remember, Nuke coming up next. This puts so much pressure on them. They want to go to another final. They want to defend the title. They're going to have to come up large in the second half. We'll take a break and see if it's possible. Well, Cologne, this crowd, you certainly lived up to the expectations, but so too has this game as a semi-final in Virtus.Pro. They're the ones taking the lead right now against what many people would have expected. 9-6 after the first half.
After losing the pistol as well. That's tremendous. I would assume, though, if I saw this, if I watched in the game, I thought, they must have won the pistol. They got lucky in some of the force buys and stuff like that. They actually really worked so hard toward that B side, especially. SK Gaming only really finding rounds towards A, and then they got shut down towards there as well. Snacks aggressive with the AWP. Taz just nailing every single shot as well. Neo and Bialy, what a strong unit they were toward that B side. The crossfires coming in, facing at the right time, locking them down with correct use of utility as well. It was an amazing show on the CT side, and now VP, they're no slouches on the T side either. If they win this pistol here, it's going to be very, very scary for SK Gaming indeed. We'll go into this one. 4 sets of armor for VP. Make it 5, no utility purges whatsoever. That suggests a complete Virtus plow round, just running in together and trying to use the power in numbers. SK, no kits purges, they've got 4 sets of armor themselves to be fallen just with that smoke grenade. And that's like a B-side of the tackle, but we have got Taz towards the top middle there. Could be an A split potential there.
I've slowed it a little bit early on. First, going to be the only one over on A right now with Fallen. Covering off that Taz window. I think that's what we have to call it after the display we've seen there today. Just absolutely dominating that position. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a decal added to that part of the map after this major, to be honest, the way he played that first half. But Bialy, waiting to see if anyone does push forward. FNX inside the site, more passive as we see. But again, Virtus.Pro, they didn't intend to work with. They've given nothing away, and they've got this armor. They're going to try and just walk in and wreck them with this Glock train toward the site. Like you said, the Virtus plow on toward one of the sites and slowly grouping toward B right now.
Well, they're just seeing if anyone's hunting for information here. We saw a lot of teams yesterday, especially remember Liquid. They sent 4 players down middle. It's a great piece of the map to actually work out whether the team's going straight towards B, but so far, back towards A site, and they're going to try and control middle here.
This is going to be a split. Bialy and Snacks both down drop. Neo with bomb, Pasha already coming up bottom of mid. Furs yet to spot this as well. He's going passive. He's going to try and wait inside the site, falling into the rotation. This is where Snacks comes through. Both below him in that smoke. Taco not able to collect him on the way through, but FNX wraps back around. Neo, however, pulls this level, and Fallen can't find the opening shot, but that is lovely to take down Taz. And they're still trying to fight Bialy off and take this away so they can get the rotations in cleanly. It's just Neo left. He's got the bomb. He had to go hunting for it, so it's bought a little bit more time. And Cold, therefore, is on the full flank here. He's going to look toward Connector, and guess what? Cold beside him can't hit the shot right away, but does close it out. And SK have back-to-back pistols in this game.
So a nice slow default there from VP, beating out the map, working on what their options are. They go for the A split, but you know what completely shut them down there? Fallen was just ready for it. It's a very common strategy in the T-pistol, and he sat there towards that window position we talked about so much before. He gets the smoke as soon as he spots one player. That shuts it down. They have to push through a horrible angle there. They actually can't back out their teammates, and it's SK just nailing the shots with the USP. The plant does come in for VP, though. That's important. Oh, okay, I was going to say they get AKs in the third map, but you know what? They're not going by the curve this time. They're actually going to be going force buy on the second, which is interesting for sure. You can see SK, they've got a mixture of rifles and UMPs, so a full execution with Tech-9s and one AK as well. This could surprise SK Gaming. You see Neo, he's taken a little bit of a burn here. He's dropped the AK over to Taz, so he gets no armor. He's just got the deagle. But yeah, there was definitely an option to buy up on the third. That's the orthodox way to go about things, but if you want to win big games, Matt, you have to pull out all the stops, and maybe this is one of them.
So Taz to lead the charge with the AK. Smoke in his face, he'll fall away. Neo again trying to evaluate with a deagle, but it's the scout from Fallen.
Okay.
He was slow to get rolling on the first half, but a great shot to start off this round. And this is going to fully inform Virtus.Pro that, all right, guys, we lost A already. Let's just go to B. Smoke's coming out. Is this for sale? Because it's as they, okay, no, it's going to be rotation just to drop. So two coming out long platform, and Bialy and Snacks again going to go aggressive toward drop. And already through that arch room, there's no one to hold it off inside of the wall. And what they're trying to do is push them back so they are contained by the wall and then cut them off while they're sitting and waiting for those to dissipate. But Taco's still a chicken coop. So he drops bomb on the way through before it even happens. The smokes are now gone. The execution potential is lost for Virtus.Pro. And so too are the numbers because it's down to 4 versus 1. Snacks is able to pick up 1, but he's already bugging out of this round. Bomb's way over at B. He's got no chance in it, so just save the scout.
Yeah, you could see how that was building up and what VP had in mind. Neo was supposed to be the decoy towards middle, try and get towards danger, get spotted. That's all he wanted there, but unfortunately for him, Fallen rips his head off with that scout. That shuts it down. VP go for the execution, but a very disciplined play from SK Gaming. They're playing towards the chicken coop behind the rock. They're not giving anything away. They're not letting them find the kills. And with the advantage of the rifles and the UMPs, they can just take care of them at long range, and the Tech-9s can't really do too much about it. So VP, like you said, they looked for so long for that first pick, but just didn't find it at all. And they were just looking at 6s and 7s and actually made their way to the site. Shut down. Snacks will survive here. He doesn't get any money into the next round, but he does have head armor and a scout. So something to work with as well. He has a Tech-9. He can drop that to a teammate. So potentially that's... Oh, that was close.
Yeah, very close.
That would have been he got no money. He's going to scoreboard right now. Snacks, $450. If you die after the timer expires, you get absolutely nothing. Well, even if you survive.
Yeah. But point stands. You survive, at least he gets the gun carried over. Without, he's hopeless, I guess you could say. So Taz goes immediately back onto a Tech-9. They're going to sit pretty here, Virtus.Pro. They have to concede this round. They have to build up their economy moving forward. So we should, all things considered, remember, there is always that off possibility, but should be looking at 9-9 for SK after this round. Fallen's going to go aggressive toward the bottom of mid right now. Nade pulled and ready, primed and looking to be thrown as Fur's already peeking out toward and spotting Neo at long A.
Yeah, it's a very difficult round here for VP right now. You can see Glocks, one Tech-9 that was dropped from Snacks, and they're going to have to see if that scout can find anything. It's almost impossible. They know he's got it. They don't really need to face anything long range at this point. Just hold the tight choke points. Exactly what they're doing as well. FNX is getting some information there towards drop down as well. He's got the M4. I can take a few pop shots before he has to fall back. And they've done so much damage as well. Taz and Neo going down to about half HP. And it looks like they will just walk into B, hope for the best. It's not going to be pretty. With Snacks leading in charge of the scout, maybe he can get the kill towards Taka, but it's very unlikely he nails the headshot.
So Neo down. Taco waiting. Cole bait them in. Pop out late. Taz, what a shot though. He goes down and they know Taco's here, but he still has the AK at range, and that seems to be the definitive factor right now as he does find Pasha. As well as one before, it's just down to Taz remaining at the window, and unfortunately coming out from that side, he doesn't quite own the territory. 9-9 is our score. 2 players lost, but guns to come up on either side.
Yeah, that force buy in the second round has hurt VP somewhat. You can see that after Snacks not getting any money in the previous round, he only has enough for a Tech-9 this time. There's no ore potential here, so they will have 4 AKs and smokes, but there's no Molotovs to work with. It's not ideal, no HGs. It's going to be a bit of a tricky round. And SK Gaming on the CT side, we talk about his tag team combos so much, Matt. Cold, Zera, and Fallen on those orbs. It's very deadly indeed. And as we said before, it's a difficult map to use them on, but these guys are very aggressive, and I'm sure they'll be going for those first picks and trying to take over this situation early in the round. But For AK's Snacks, it's up to him just to be going in first. Wouldn't be surprised they gave him the bomb. That would make the most sense. Just use him as a cannon fodder as he runs in and tries to plant, but for now, more of a default. Looks like VP will be making their efforts towards long A. Very defensive setup from the CDC. You can see Fur and Fallen on the A side, just setting up the crossfire right now. Fur towards that stables area. It's actually 4 players for VP at long A, and Bialy, he'll be that lurk kind of factor. As soon as his teammates show their hand towards the A side, he's waiting for rotations, giving them information in terms of footsteps, and seeing if he can find a cheeky kill in the back. Or actually, maybe they don't want this. They're going to go back towards the B side by the looks of things.
All right, it's FNX that waits at drop. Bialy slowly going that way. He's changed the angle, that trajectory. Well, that gives away where he is, but it also is not very inviting for Bialy to take advantage of, is it? He has to sit and wait for that to dissolve, and FNX is going to change up his angle in the meantime. Taco waiting for an opportunity to try and strike as well. From that tree boost position, he's elected to jump off, and he wants to get aggressive. He knows with 30 seconds they've got to be committed, so he wants information at long B right now. Because if they're not there, chances are they'll have to rotate back over to A. He's made contact, he spots Pasha. This should be a rotation coming over, and Cold Zero, he's going to stay to help FNX, but he's been tagged. Knocked down to 33 HP, forced out of that drop room, and they're going to try and split on this side aggressively. Taco down already. That's big from Taz, because the other two, Cold Zero and FNX, have elected to go toward the drop. They're going to give up space, but what a shot! FNX drops the bomb on the way through. Bialy, he's going to try and pull this back. It's just him 1 versus 2. 8 seconds, needs the kills, and Fallen, he's going to close the round.
Back and forth round. It could have gone either way there, but it's Fallen with the rotation with that AWP. There was no smoke remaining for the terrorists to actually drop the smoke and actually deny him vision there. That's such a huge factor. You need to have that position covered, and you can actually lock that and eradicate him. Didn't have it available. He rotates in, gets the final 2 kills. It was quite scrappy on their way to the bomb site. It was Taz that got the first kill as well. It looked promising, but now SK Gaming have firmly taken the lead here, 10-9. And it should be an eco for VP as well. It's a partial buy coming in, means they can justify some Tech 9, some body armor as well. It looks like the loss bonus actually is going to be at his maximum stage next round, so that means $3,400. So as long as they keep the money around the 2K mark, it means they will have money to play with going forward. Fast drop-down play as well, but that incendiary will slow them down for sure. Cold Zero ready and waiting.
Fallen finding one. AWP goes to pistol instead. As they start to swarm his position, they're all around him. He will eventually go down. Taz getting 2, but Cold getting the last, and the most important to close the round. 11-9 for SK, and as you say though, final form of the lost round bonus means another buy for VP, but still they haven't gone for an AWP on this T side.
Well, now they have the actual opportunity to do these full executions correctly. They have the Molotovs to flush out any close-range CT players. They have all the smokes. Anything that was missing, any gaps in the last round, like that one towards connector as I described before, they actually have the potential to do the full strategy if they so wish. This could actually work out. I think they probably established as a double AWP setup with Cold Zero and Fallen, and that's when the set pieces are so effective, Matt. That means you can actually take out the AWPs in certain positions, isolate players towards those kind of places like Chicken Coop and behind the bomb site, and then swarm them with gunpowder, the AK-47. We'll see how this works out for them. But it's 11-9 right now, and once again, it's VP showing the hand towards A. It doesn't necessarily mean they'll commit. There's kind of dissecting the map, as we said before. It's kind of pushing the CTs back and not letting them read the map as well.
Fur falls back slightly on this mid position, and so too does Fallen at long. They're trying to play this in tandem. So communication between the two. Smoke comes out late, and they'll change it. With the smoke that close to the AWP, there's no sense trying to have him hit miracle shots when they've got an M4 in the same position. So he watches mid now, and Fur he's going to watch that position at long. And Nate through doesn't really do much. He can readdress this smoke, which is important because they'll buy more time. However, they've only now got 1 smoke left on the CT side. That's Cold Zero, who's over at B. Potentially, though, that might come into play because B is getting more attention. Bomb as well in the hands of Taz is doing Pasha and Bialy on that side of the map. Neo's going to try and convince LG, Mr. Molotov, that they are still there, though. So it's up to Cold. Remember, Chicken Coop to try and hold this off. Last Molotov's in the hands of Pasha if they want to try and clear it. In they go. No peek from Cold just yet. And Fur, well, they've got to rotate soon. Cold, he's gone early. He's taken down Bialy. FNX inside of the site, but Snacks will get him back. So he went early. He got 1 kill, but through the smoke already. FNX trying to deny the plant. 15 seconds. They have to get the kill on FNX. They've got it. They can go for the bomb plant. Late smoke's out. Fallen has to go through. And it's a man advantage for Virtus.Pro. Make it 2. Has Fallen. What a shot, though. Up close, but good position from Snacks. Even if he tries to enter toward the site, Snacks should be able to cut him off in this situation at 19 HP. Money's not amazing on this SK side. He's just going to try and slip away, Fallen. So Virtus.Pro is going to pick up double digits as well. It's going to go to 11-10.
That is one of the main problems with this double orb setup. As soon as the bomb does go down, it's so hard to actually retake and find those kills. You're a lot less dynamic than when you would be with a rifle. You can check the angles nice and quickly. You don't have to no-scope everything. And Fallen just opts to bow out that round. He is on 19 HP as well, being very unlikely to find two players and defuse the bomb as well. But there it is. VP, as we described, going towards that A side of the map, pushing the CTs back, taking the vision away with that smoke, and then quickly rotate back to B. A couple of basic smokes this time, just enough to kind of separate the map, separate the site, cut it in half, and you can see how isolated coldzera was there. You can have Molotovs thrown on top of him. He only managed to get one kill before it was returned. A little bit hairy as the bomb was going down, but VP were very calm in that situation and made sure they went on top. But here we go then, round number 22, sticking with the double orbs. So the attacker with the max 7 though. It's not so much a disadvantage of this map, it's one of the few maps that the max 7 is actually really viable on. It's great for 1 or 2 kills towards that broken wall area. We'll see if VP can continue their swarm. But their money right now, after reinvesting into it, it would be a most certain eco if they were to lose it. But it's currently 5-1 in the second half. VP have found their first round. Still a lot of work to do here, though. This game is very much in the balance battle. Although we said it's a T-sided map, and these big games with so much is on the line, it's very difficult to predict how it's going to work out.
Fer and Fallen again together on A. This time Virtus.Pro are getting closer to that position. Smoke over, Fer's going to beat that back. Fallen gets out of danger as well. So they're playing conservatively and safe, making decisions off of each other, and Fallen again with that smoke out, just going to watch bottom mid. Same setup for M4, waiting for the flashes to come through, trying to dodge them out, bait them in. Taz already clears danger. This will give more map control and confidence to Virtus.Pro. He's the one with the bomb, however. Take note of that because they're slowly trying to evaluate B at the same time. All about patience, 50 seconds. Another flash over onto Taz. This is the sail, but what's the play? With 3 over at B, is it going to be a full wrap back through drop? Because so far they are committing to try and pull these CTs over. They're trying to push them back further, and Taz hasn't moved with that bomb. If Fer even considers going back out to retake that map control, and he catches that bomb off, that could be a huge problem for them right now. And it is going to be drop they go. So here's the split. Cold, he's going to try and get back through the smoke, but with 3 players inside connector already, it's extremely hard for him to be able to shut them all down. Pasha and Fallen knows it, but what a shot by Pasha! Around the corner and down he goes. First still alone, remember. But he won't be able to have the confidence to go back just yet. He needs more information. Bialy, he sees Cold coming again, trying to slow these rotations, and Cold with an op in that position with an AK pre-firing him every move he makes. It's extremely hard for him to find a pick to make this possible. And he needs to, because Fer's been waiting for the opportunity. Finally, he will, but Taco goes down. It's the same problem for Cold. There's no way for him to advance. Fer's at stables right now. He's so far pushed up, but he just can't go. He just doesn't have the support to do it. He's going to have to make the play. He goes alone. He gets only 1, and Pasha shuts him down. And it's Cold that gets locked out of the site on the split play.
What a beautiful round from VP there. Working towards a B. They did the wall of smokes before. They do the same strategy, but it's a complete ruse. The smokes go down. It's SK game can start rotating, but VP getting towards that drop-down area. They get the first kill, and they have players on the A side of the map as well. They come through connector, and Pasha, what a shot that was towards long A. Locks down ball, and they know he's got the AWP in that position. They swarm the A side, and SK did what they could. The late rotation's coming in, but it's Pasha to find 3 kills, and absolutely locks them down now. 11-11 map. Once again, we've seen it, but it's going to be an eco this time for SK Gaming. The problem is, though, an AWP on an eco side has huge amounts of potential. It means you can actually be a little bit more aggressive. You know you need to find kills here. If you can get that opening kill, reposition yourself to the other side and actually funnel them towards you. Players like Guardian, Fallen, in this instance, it's going to be coldzera. Let's see if he can do anything about it.
Fallen is aggressive toward long with FNX and Fer this time, so trying to stack that up with the pistols, but Cold only gets to the statue. They're already in the site. That AWP becomes less and less relevant as it gets closer. He's got to make miracle shots to make the no-scopes work, and Pasha just holds the angle as they shuffle and scurry him back towards safety. FNX finds 1, but Neo's already at a drop. They're going to pinch onto him inside, and down he goes. It's Fallen inside, a drop bomb planted. Virtus.Pro's going to take back the lead on this round. And the money situation wasn't great this time for SK, but it's still not going to be much better in the next. They'll get 3 rounds against them, though, so it will be 3,400. They can get an AWP back up. Only just, as Fallen sits on the edge, wants to try and get one more gun down away from Virtus.Pro. If they can force a rebuy, again, efficiency late, trying to keep the game close and back and forth. Neo's going to take him, though, so no chance that he's been successful. And Fer, nothing he's going to do about this either.
Well, it was the straight-up B rush from VP. It's difficult call to make, especially when you know he's got the orb as well. Can go either way, but it was Cordero not going for the aggressive picks. He didn't want to find that first kill. He just wanted to sit behind the statue and see if he could mow them down. Couldn't do anything about it. It was flashed off before he had the opportunity to get the first kill. Neo finds him, and it's 12-11 now. Money's still not really recovered. They could buy this one, but that's when their money starts to go to turmoil. If they force this situation and lose it, and yeah, okay, so a timeout comes in now, and this is the good time to do it, Matt. Best chance they can get was working out, slowing down the pace of VP, who seem to be really signing up for this game. It's going to be, in terms of cash, you've got Taco 3,400, 2 players 44, make it 3, and Fur just at 5k. So they've been running that double orb setup a lot. That's not really a potential right now. They could get one glass cannon near WP and have some Famuses. Taco probably with a shotgun. So it's definitely a huge round for them right now. Loss bonus at the 3rd stage, but the last 3 rounds have all been bomb explosions. It seems like VP have really worked out to get into those bomb sites and make these clutch situations work in their favor. The big players, the superstars, are certainly performing. You've got Taz, 25 kills. Pasha with that tremendous round before. He's on 15.
I mean, it is the kill distribution between everyone else is dead even. It's Taz that's really far ahead, and a lot of that does have to do, of course, with an eco, or rather anti-eco ace.
9 kills.
He got 9 kills in 2 rounds at window, but still, I mean, those are
they all count.
Instrumental. Yeah, they all count, and they're shut down SK every single time they went there. So that's off to Taz. But again, 12-11, timeout, minute left, well, 55 seconds left to work out some sort of plan, and I think we're getting an indication of exactly what that plan is.
We are indeed. It's going to be Fur purchasing the shotgun. Hasn't fully invested with head armor though, so he's got the shotgun, body armor, no nades as of yet. So this could be a partial buy. It could just be limited. Okay, that's exactly what's going to happen. You see, Taco, he's purchased the Deagle. So they're looking for the bigger picture, man. They don't want to force up this round and take a huge chance and really limit themselves going forward. It'd be very unlikely they could ever get that double orb set up again if they lost this. Partial buy has potential to win. You can do UMP, the Max 7, the PT50. It's a very small percentage chance. I'd say it's probably about maybe 15-20% they can actually do anything with this. But still, I think this is the correct decision to make. Loss bonus starting to accumulate now. Let's make sure we have those full buys. Let's not go out because we ruined our own economy. Let's make sure we do this properly and challenge them in the gun rounds here. But VP, like we said, it's a T-sided map, and they're looking great right now after losing the pistol in the first couple of rounds. They've got rolling, and they've had the full buys. It snacks on the AWP this round as well, so maybe a little bit of a change of pace, get that first pick rolling, and maybe a bit of a slower round coming in. But at this point, that's probably perfect. They don't really know what they're up against. They know the pauses coming from the CTs. It's a chance for them to adjust their setups and work out what they're going to do. So I think a default VP, that's perfect. You don't know if they force support. You want to feel the map out and just kind of take things very nice and default.
Smoke over by Neo. Early smoke. That lands to cover off the alley. Second one now behind Tree. They're going for this early play to try and force something out from SK, but they're going to stick to their guns right now. Or should I say lack thereof, in the fact that they're trying to keep Fallen Fur and Cold Zera together in close proximity to take advantage of the situation. Cold boosted in the corner at long, but Virtus.Pro slowing things down. Looking to go on to the B site. Snack's not able to hit the shot on Taco as he shoulder peeks out from that new addition of the stairwells.
We can see Neo, this is the default talking about. So Neo, he's towards the top of middle right now, looking for any CTs that may be hunting, trying to find a player that's got out of position. He's right at the top of mid, behind the rocks, and he's going to say, right, okay guys, no one's pushing whatsoever. They are 4 players towards B. He'll be joining them momentarily as well. Stick together as a unit, have that refrag potential coming in as well. That smoke will slow them down. There's no reason to push for it at this point. They've got 50 seconds remaining. Don't limit yourselves, don't take any chances, and they can fully execute. Maybe that is the right call at this point. Wall of smokes, they won't have much to work with. You know they're not going to have orbs, that's for sure. And we'll see if this works out for VP. It should do. This is almost a perfect play right now. Neo, it's just going to be backsetting from mid, it seems. Can't really decide what he's doing, but...
He's actually going to come back to the front, but it's all right because he's left 3 players on A. It's just 2 they have to spot up and take down. Taco being one of the 2. FNX trying to get a little bit cheeky inside of this smoke and let them push. Look at the vision he's got, just enough. But is it enough to try and stop a bomb plant with 5 players in front of you? Well, there's one. That's a start. As he walks back over to the alleyway, Fallen. He's got Neo on his rotation coming around. Taz goes down. What is going on? Suddenly it's a 4 versus 2. SK's made a case for this, and they're going to force Snacks back, to that archway. Pasha's picked up one. Snacks, tag onto Cold, but still 3 players survive. They're trying to push through. Tech 9 out for Snacks. Pasha takes Fur, and they stabilize, thankfully, the round with the AKs. Virtus.Pro will pick up 13.
Well, started off as a dream scenario. The full execution, we saw all the smokes going down, the Molotovs in position, flushing CTs out. They got the kills as well, but out of nowhere, those pistols start to cause them some uncomfortable situations there. It does come down to a 4-2 against them somehow, but they had the firepower to control it. The CTs couldn't recover the weapons in time, didn't have kits as well, so it was very unlikely they could actually win the round. And just nice, calm play. That's a replay right now of FNX opening it up. And we'll see. Now round of 25 goes back in. It's that double orb set up once more for the CTs. coldzera and Fallen, with the executions that VP have been presenting, I'm not sure this is the right call. Very difficult to retake the sides, like I said, especially if Fallen's coming back with the star player, limited.
But if Fallen can find an opening pick, that would be more important. Again, though, he's not able to get it in Pasha.
Okay.
Nearly catching him out before he gets back in the sight. It's Neo instead, though, that's going to work the bottom of middle. Fur peeks out. He's vulnerable. This is such a tough position to play. Tough angle to play. In the air, Pasha wraps around. He's been hitting these crazy shots all game. Molotov out. Fallen can't even sit in the back of the site. The safety play is gone. Neo, what is that? Takes Taco in the balcony as well. All the entrances working out for Virtus.Pro, and coldzera is heading for the hills already.
What a round that was from VP. What a way to change the pace as well. We know they've had that pause, they've kind of calculated how they're going to go into this one, and it's going to be VP straight towards long A once again, making things uncomfortable for Fallen. They spot him at the start towards long A. They know he's falling back towards that A site, and they drop the Molotov perfectly on top of him as well. He's forced to the APC, and Neo's so quick towards middle. He smoked the connector area. They drop him down, and that's round over. The CTs can only rotate and hope for the best. And they don't get a single kill. So coldzera, the last player remaining, and Neo wants blood as well. He's trying to hunt him down, can't find it. Has given away his position. coldzera desperately trying to hold on to this weapon. If VP can find this, it'd be pretty huge. Flashbang comes in from Snacks, but it's going to be such a difficult procedure to lock him down. That's a strong arms position with the smoke down as well. But
bye-bye. Oh, he ran out of ammo! Does the pistol still do it? No! He ran out of ammo, and he saves the AWP because of it.
Okay. Teasing up, Matt.
So now, I mean, the worst case scenario is this AWP haunts them this round.
More spy, okay. Obviously, one more point will do it for VP. Bring them onto map points, but that orb saved. That has boosted chances for SK tremendously. Had they got that kill, it was moments away. Maybe one more second would be enough for Pasha to find him. He couldn't. Now coldzera does have the orb. He's joined. And a pretty nasty setup, to be fair. It's going to be max 7s and UMPs and one M4 available. That's in the hands of Fur. VP, who would have thought? They're this close now, and it's coldzera to open it up. Takes down Taz, that tag team with the HE grenade as well. 5 and 4 now. That's going to funnel the terrorists towards the A sites, and they're moving quickly as well.
Very quickly indeed. No smoke, but a Molotov instead. That's unfortunate. They're blinded up, so the smoke actually hits Neo. Kind of takes off their own vision. Gives potential to try and enter back through that doorway. Gold's going to go balcony instead. Fur, he gets 2. Lines them up from long. And Snacks has to try and find a pick, but can't do it fast enough. As FNX wraps back around, this is all working out too well for them. Bomb down, 1 player left. It's just Snacks. As Virtus.Pro fall apart on the way through, you said approaching fast, and then quickly the rotation came in from SK. Snacks has Taco down though, but it's not like he has the bomb to try and take advantage of this B opening. He's just going to save this AWP instead.
We speculated that orb could cause some damage to VP, and it's the first kill that goes down. Taz tried to face towards the side. Nade lands on his feet, and then coldzera finds him from Chicken Coop as well. That funneled his teammates up towards the A side, but that's how they had the crossfire set up as well. SK Gaming with the lesser buy. They actually managed to do it and keep the dream alive here. 14-12. And they've upgraded absolutely everything. 4 players alive, AKs, orbs. And this actually helps them out tremendously. VP, of course, still has plenty of money available here. Pashik with $10,000, Snacks 8K as well. So they've got a full buy available, that's for sure. But I think this is where their pause comes in as well. 14-12 Mount, VP just need 1 round just to secure overtime. Take that pressure off. It's like a valve being released at that point. But it does plague a lot of these top teams, especially against the likes of SK Gaming. They're known for coming back in these situations. We saw it time and time again, if you remember, against Liquid and Columbus.
I was going to say in the exact same situation, very specifically, in a semi-final of a major.
And you just give them that one opportunity, that one force buy, that gets them back into the game, that fires them up, and they know they can stay alive at that point. So they need 3 rounds, VP needs 1, just to secure overtime. Time ticking away, but what a great map this has been so far. It's had absolutely everything. VP showing up, as they always do in the majors, looking to book a place in the grand final here. Would almost be denying SK, the current champions of the world. Everyone thought it'd be a destined SK Fnatic final, but a few more twists and turns, I believe.
A few more indeed. Remember, if you're just joining us and haven't seen the map, Vito, Virtus.Pro, famed for their former play on the previous iteration of Nuke, as with NIP for that matter, but they've elected to bring it back out in a huge match.
Such a crazy pocket pick. With the veto system we have right now, it worked perfectly for them. They know they're underdogs in this series. They've accepted that. They thought, okay, Nuke, if we can get that one rolling, we can just find some form on the other maps. We've got a serious chance here as well. And they're so close on Cobble. I wrote them off in this one. I thought Cobble, there's no chance. It's SK's home ground. That's why they'll be completely wrecking them almost every single round. But VP showed up here. They actually won the first half on the CT side after losing the pistol as well. They've lost both pistols.
Yeah, that's insane. And the fact that they've lost both pistols on a map like Cobblestone as well, which is back and forth on its own. And yet still, it's a 2-round lead. However,
and both times, it's not like they've won a force buy. Both times SK have converted it to 3-0 victories in both halves. So that's a huge factor. Normally if that happens against a top team, especially against the world's #1 team, you should have no chance of winning. If you go down 6-0 because you've lost both pistols, it's very unlikely you can actually win the game. That just shows you SK, they're looking weak right now. It's been better for Fallen in the last few rounds. He's found some form. His double orb setup has been working out for them. There's the force buy in the previous round, number 26. He gave them a second win here. As we get back into it, the crescendo of the first map here. It's going to be 4 AKs with VP. Snacks on the orb himself, looking to get that first pick. A-side has been successful for the Poles, but getting taken down by the UMPs. That's going to rattle the confidence a little bit. This time Fallen, he goes towards danger. Not super aggressive, but he's actually on the A-side by himself for now, so can't afford to give too much away. Just wants to see if he can get anyone walking through those doors.
Smoke out top drop to buy more space and allow Fur to rotate over with that time bot to help Fallen out. Tons of smokes for Virtus.Pro. It's tantalizing prospect that they try and do the wall again on this B side. Cold again, no waiting at Chicken Coop. He's been there a lot, but at the same time, we haven't seen a lot of Molotovs really be tossed in there from Virtus.Pro to do anything about it early on.
Very slow round so far. Full execution could come in. Wall of smokes has been thrown time and time again from VP. And he will be doing just that. You can see him dropping in, but it would be that ace that we saw before. Going back towards drop down. Neo's on the other side of the map as well. And they make this happen once again.
Next close. He's waiting. Down they go. Has to change the aim a long way and use a lot of bullets. Bialy's able to trade it. Straight in over the top and now drop controlled. Virtus.Pro looking for an entrance. Neo lurking still over onto that A side. He's going to get taken down from Fur, but Taco's got to cover this off. He gets the shot. Cold Zero's taking Pasha as well. Fur's going for the flank rotation, but Bialy, he's got some space still because Cold's the only one directly inside of the site. He only has 15 HP. But they are ever closer, and Cold, he's not even going to need his teammates to help him out. He's going to give SK 13 rounds right away.
VP, after taking the pause, they go for the full-on B fake there. They've thrown those smokes so many times. They've actually tried faking it once before as well, but SK, they've cottoned on very quickly at this point, and now they're 1 round away, and they've broken the economy of VP as well. He saw Neo, he was by himself towards mid. They did want to go for that ace, but they are locked out from the smoke at the start of drop-down room. Equal exchange to begin with, but then the numbers have started depleting. I felt like Neo, he had to wait for his teammates to commit a little bit more to B before he showed his hand at mid. As soon as he did that, they knew exactly what was going on. He was by himself, he was trying to come in for that lurk. Had he waited a little bit longer, he potentially got the backstab going and given them a real good shot at winning that round. SK, though, looking like they're going to close things up. It's going to go to 14-14. It's a partial buy from VP. Tech 9, speedy 50s, 3 smokes. Same smokes will go down once again, try and get the bomb down. That'll boost the money into the next round at least, but difficult prospect against SK with just the pistols in hand.
Drop aggressively, of course, with all the Tech 9s to work with. Fur going to try and shut them down as they walk back through, but FNX and Fallen are the ones to do it instead. Water, which does fall down, but Fallen recovers that and pulls it back. Snacks down as well. 14-14, we're going the distance.
Yes, we are.
Game 1, it's certainly been exciting and back and forth. It's also been quite fundamentally sound in a lot of ways.
It's definitely lived up to the name of a semi-final here at the Major. This is what we want. 2 teams going at it, 2 titans of CSGO, and it's really brilliant to see. It's been an absolutely fantastic one, and VP feeling the pressure a little bit more now. They can see SK have recovered from the initial deficit, tied things up, and I believe they have has somewhat given in as we go into round 29. 5 AKs, no snacks at AWP this time. 4 smokes, they're definitely not fully equipped. See Neo has got a single grenade here. And double op setup this time, falling towards long A. He's waiting for them. That's where 3 terrorists are as well. Fur will be toward danger, covering the flank. And if Fallen can just get his first kill and fall back, He's in a great position, but the problem is most terrorist side will go into that position and bounce the flashbang off the wall that goes over the top. He'll take a pot shot, but it's very unlikely he can get a kill. It's one of those positions you're hoping to surprise him. That's a flash. I think we just missed it, but he has to fall back now as he's smoked out as well.
Boost up again for Fur on this L wall.
This position's so strong. It's one of the ones you can chuck him maybe once, twice a half. But when there's pandemonium going on, a lot of attention going on, you can actually find 1 or 2 kills and has a great exit strategy as well.
Yeah, it's similar to the boost in the A side on Cash for that matter, and more importantly, Fallen watching A long means there's no chance to catch him out not looking, but this is a great pick from Neo to start things off. FNX going down, he's going to push through, but gets caught. Taco, good rotation, a better trade by Bialy. It goes to 3 versus 3. And the split onto the A site becoming more and more a possibility. Cold Zero refusing to leave B in the off chance that they don't have the information. They have not spotted Bomb just yet. It has not appeared on the radar due to the smoke out in front of Taz and Fallen. WP's not sure which way to look, but he guesses right. What a shot on it. Taz turns and Fallen at a big moment. He's going to drop Bomb, take down 2 out toward Long, and Bialy, the one he was looking for that did come through drop, he's left alone. And he knows Fallen's over there somewhere, but where could he possibly have gone? Well, right there, Bialy. Right there on map point for SK as they take it to 15 rounds.
If ever there was a time for the Superstar to show up and show us what he's got, what potential he has, that's a serious time to do it. Close range AWPing, what he's famed for. Hits every single shot and finds 4 kills just when VP had equal trades as well. 15-14, the money's broken. SK Gaming coming back from a huge deficit here. It was the UMPs and that saved AWP that saved them and got them back into this one. VP, they'll be so disappointed if they lose this 16-14. There is still a chance to take it to overtime, but it's a small one.
That saved AWP that was saved by an AK running out of bullets, let's not forget. That's how close that was to not being in the round.
That
perhaps
one small moment.
Yeah, perhaps not even being a force play, because they wouldn't justify it if they didn't have the AWP. I mean, that's massive. The little details that make up the complexion of the game.
Absolutely, it's why we talk about the money system so much, and it's so effective, and the outcome of the game can be swung by it. Round number 30, we have fully gone the distance now. Pasha trying to get towards middle, but he can't find the kill. It was a very long reach attempt, I have to say, but 5 and 4 now. They know it's pistols, they can fall back to the bomb sites and utilize the range they have, the double ult setup. This one, it really works out.
Fallen again inside of the A site, backed by the hut, looking for the opening. He knows they've pushed up close. It's Neo instead, though, that gets it. He misses a shot. They're going to get closer on this, so he has to hold the tight angle. Jump is so smart to jump as well. And Taz, he's got Fur. It's down to 2. They've got guns picked up as well, but one more goes down. Bomb's going to be planted 2 versus 2. There's kits on both SK players, and Taz and Neo. Mid-health on either, but position for Taz. Spots Cold Zero trying to find that spray out. Can't overextend. He knows BWP is there. It gets him as well, and Neo has to clutch it. He has to keep Virtus.Pro alive. A start, a good shot on the Cold. Taco once closer. AWP, and he's done it! Neo's hit both. We're going to overtime.
The Master returns just when they needed it as well. They had Tech-9s, 2 AKs, lost the first kill. They just go all into the A bomb site. The bomb's planted, and if Neo's alive, there's always a chance. AWP, 35 HP as well. He hits both shots, and we're going to overtime. Everything's reset. That was it. SK Gaming could have taken it right there and then.
We'll take a short break because I think we all need one to calm down after that. When we come back, overtime in map 1. It's been amazing so far. When you have legends of this status going at it, you expect something amazing, and we have not seen anything less. You mentioned SK, the ability to come back, Henry, in these games. They've done it again, but you're going against Virtus.Pro, one of the strongest mental teams of all time, and you're going into overtime now.
So many amazing storylines here. It's SK Gaming winning both pistols, getting that 6-0 advantage, and they actually looked like they were up against it. They weren't going to do it. It was VP with a huge advantage. It was like 14-11 at one point, and SK Gaming just find that one round that saved AWP, that gets them back into it, and that's all they needed. And they were the ones who actually had the map points at one point. And it's the VP, Tech 9s in hand, Galils, AKs. They lose the first kill, but Neo, you couldn't write if you tried. He's the player, the old master, who steps up on the A-bomb site, takes 2 down, and here we are, overtime in the first map of the first semi-final. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make some noise. This deserves it. VP will be sticking on the T side, and that double orb setup still rings true for SK Gaming.
And they've made it work. I mean, this is the map you're most critical of on it for obvious reasons. It's extremely hard to find. You have to find the early pick with it.
The problem is VP have been doing so many fakes. They're not taking advantage of the smokes being down on the B side. They go through it and actually find those trade kills. That's when the retake's so difficult for that remaining orb, but they're faking so many times, actually working against himself in that manner. But 10K starting money, 3 rounds each half, first to 4. Money can be limited here. It's another huge factor. You don't get 16K. So, and the double orb setup especially, Matt, that's a huge investment considering you lose the first round, you're instantly limited.
Fallen trying to get information, good jump over Bialy, well spotted, but he did see the last set of feet. See if Fur can capitalize on that information, doesn't find the first shot. Flash goes out there by space, but Fur goes down. Neo's got one. It's the AWP from Fallen again that has to play this right. No one going up behind him, there's still flames. He can hold the front of this as Neo falls as well. The rotations come in, but look how low FNX is, and he's dropped down, but he knows bomb's close up. Cole just needs to, I was gonna say sit and wait, but it's just him. He's gonna clutch it instead with the AWPs. Drops in, full commitment. He's got 1, he's got 2! What a flick! Taz goes down, and it's AWP versus AWP. And a smoke out, it will allow the movement from Cold Zero. Snax has to read this, has to figure out exactly where he's gone. He's trying desperately. And he's looming large, he's getting closer, but Cold, he's gonna wait this. He's gonna wait this. They're gonna bump into each other. Cold, he's got the bomb. He's just waiting for this to present as he falls back. The gun barrel shows though, and Snax spots it with the pistol instead.
What a play that was, Snax. So much pressure. VP had a huge advantage that round, but Cold Zero brings it back in their favor. 1 versus 1. He puts the smoke down, sits in it as well. He was trying to see if he could hear a footstep or push out. It was a very unorthodox move, that's for sure, but Snax holds his nerve, gets the bomb up and knows it's a possibility. PT50 in hand, nails the shot as Cold Zero shows himself. First round goes in favor of VP. Like I said, that double orb setup limits your economy going forward. After this investment, CDs actually will be broken next round. They have nothing to play with, so they need to win this. It's a must win if they don't want to go down 3-0. Looks like a fast B play from VP straight away. No messing around here.
No messing around, and don't want to chicken coop smoke out. Bialy's going to be able to wrap around onto Cold, but he's on the M4 this time, and he's got 2. The spray transfer onto Neo. Snax trying to find the equalizer, but look at Cold go! You talk about double off, he goes down 4. He's got an ace in overtime! And what an ace to get, it goes 16-16.
What can you even say about that one? They go for the rush B, they're trying to mix things up. They've been showing such a strong hand towards the A site, and all of a sudden, Cold Zero out of nowhere, an ace. That should be an impossible task, especially behind that statue area. It's good for maybe 1 or 2 kills. We can see how he's utilizing that smoke. What great positioning there. Just nailing every single shot as well. That sends out a message to VP. That bomb site is also shut down for them. And that saves SK some money at least. Like I said, had they lost that round, they would have been looking at in complete disarray into this final one. But 1-1 now as we go into round number 3.
Interestingly enough as well, gets the ace with the M4 and straight back over to an AWP.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Boost from Fur and Fallen. They're going to play together out at long as always, so the default setup for SK, but it's the default that's been quite successful. As you said, so many fakes.
Yeah.
They've been getting the reads, SK, on them, and they haven't been getting caught off with these overcommitted rotates.
So 1 round established for SK Gaming. As you said, the T-sided map wouldn't be strange scenario to see a 3-0, so SK is getting 1 round here is very beneficial, and Fur, he's boosted up and ready.
Spotted as well, and he goes down. It's an AWP. Fallen's too close to utilize it. So a really good pickup for Virtus.Pro 2 on the way through. Rotations just arriving. It's FNX and Taco, but they started off well. FNX getting 1. Nice shot by Snax. Just spots him up through the edge of the wall. And Cold's not sure which direction to go in because Bialy's got to be there somewhere at B. He heard him go in, but it's him versus 4. He's limited to the balcony. Tries to find the first shot onto Snacks. Pryor up behind him. He's going to try and look inside of the site, but he can't. He can't look anywhere other than back behind him because Bialy's rotating in, and it's going to be the flank. It's going to be 2 rounds on the T side for Virtus.Pro.
Another fake working up of VP. The same smokes going down towards that area. Quickly make their way back to the A site, and they're finding the kills in another clutch situation for Cologne. Does not work out in his favor. 2-1 in favor of the Poles. It's looking good. It's promising. And SK Gaming need to step up here in the second half. The T side, they actually lost his 9-6 in the first half match, so they're going to be struggling. They relied on the pistol to get 3 of those rounds as well. It was actually the gun rounds they were very poor on. They couldn't really get rolling. They were getting control of drop down, but they couldn't actually find the kills as they made their way to the site. Do they do a fast and loose game? Do they try and mix things up and just try and stick in a tight pack instead of trying to do the diverse strategy? Or do they stick to their guns and run the default and hope for the best? And they were very focused on the B side, if you remember. They weren't actually trying to get that map control in the first half. And that was something I pointed out as a bit of a problem for them. They need to do what VP were doing. You can actually have those fakes work out so much better if you have pushed the CTs back at the start of the round.
Look back at Cold's ace.
Nuts.
What a way to do it as well. So stylish. Again, you were mentioning the double hop of the economy, winning that round alone. Give him a chance to buy again in the third, but Virtus.Pro get away with 2 rounds T side.
He was the absolute MVP of Columbus. Maybe looking to claim that title once again with those kind of plays. It's definitely a possibility. He finishes the half on 28 kills, only tied up with Taz. He's also got the same amount, but Taz made most of his kills in regulation time. That's when he really let the score, set the scoreboard on fire. We do have a little bit of a break here before the half starts. It's a chance for the team to kind of work out what the strategy is going into the next one. Obviously, so much on the line here. The first map at the best of 3. Everyone expected SK to take this easily. Nuke was the unknown factor. We weren't sure what we were going to see there, but it could go either way right now. It's going to be Virtus.Pro with that 2-1 advantage here. 2 rounds in the second half will give them the victory. 1 for the draw. I'm saying double overtime is definitely a thing. I think that's coming.
Why not? Let's go all night.
I'd be happy to.
Let's just keep this game going forever, because right now it's back and forth. Obviously, teams taking the time available to them between this half of first overtime to compose themselves and get ready to roll. There it is, the spectacle, this full arena in Columbus, and what a treat we've got on our hands right now. Did I say Columbus?
You did.
I did say Columbus.
I didn't want to ruin the moment.
They both start with C, that's true. Fair enough. From Columbus to Cologne.
Definitely Cologne. This is probably the most hype major we do. This is my first ever major. 1 year ago, Matt, and it's an absolute honor to be back here, casting the semi-final. It's always so magical in this arena. Lanxess is awesome. Look how many people we have. Sold it out every single day. And we're getting back into it now. Side switch over. VP with the advantage. Let's see what kind of setup that we bring to the table. Snacks presumably on that off. They've gone for the double up setup once again. So, like we said, the huge investment, it's a big risk. But SK Gaming have got a similar sort of idea as well. They do the same thing. Cold, Dare, and Fallen looking for those first picks. I think these orbs are going to be so important at the beginning of the round. You know the CTs probably want to find something and close this out as fast as possible. They can get that first pick. It's a risk for sure, but they can get the man advantage. It boosts their chances by so much.
Fallen waiting for a counter boost position to come through potentially as he watches with the AWP. 4 of them on cobblestone in overtime. Second half of it as well as Taco up close. Nade's gonna go too far away to really do any significant damage onto him. But they're trying to clear out that angle, just push him back slightly. Pasha that's up close. Taco's eventually reconsidered and decided, I probably don't want to stay here with the amount of attention I've drawn so far.
Well then, leads to this moment here. Heavy drop down control from Fallen as well. He's got the orb, and this was a big battle last time. Can't hit the shots once again though. Pasha does face, and they know he's there, so it's going to be that defensive play from VP. Taz, presumably on the other side of the window, waiting, but look at Snacks. This is the information I'm talking about, but it's the HG grenade that takes him down. They're countering them this time. Beneath that window is double grenades, but Snacks, there it is! Had to make something happen. He finds Taco, and now it's a 4-on-4.
And like you said, though, the counter onto Taz, who's been locking this down. It's going to pull back Bialy. But on that pick, the bomb going down just slightly. SK's got to regroup, reconsider. 4 versus 4 trade you'd think would favor the T side. That's why Snacks, though, had to make the play, because it would have been worse if all 5 stayed up. Back to B they go. Fur already committed to this drop position. Pasha waiting inside of B. for him to push through, and Bialy waiting in connector if they go the other direction where Taz has been playing. Pop flash over from the arch room. Molotov as well forces Pasha away. Second Molotov going to come out, but Pasha, that extends all the way to the wall. Can't go back through. And Fur on Neo, they've got a lot of room to work inside of the site. Bomb's already getting planted right now behind the statue, and Bialy, he's just getting into drop room now. They're limited. In fact, Virtus.Pro limited so much that they're already considering with the purchase of that double op to save in the first overtime, or first round of the second half of overtime.
It's a very difficult place to be in the CT side when you pull the double ops. As I said, the money can be a huge factor here, so this is the wise option to make. SK Gaming obviously taking advantage of that freeze time we had in between the halves, saying, okay, well, what was the problems before? We could get control of the map, but actually getting out towards connector, towards the B side, that's when we had the problem. Double HGs beneath the window, locks Taz out of the round. We saw that amazing reply there from Snacks. Just to paint a picture for you, Cbble is not one of the maps you can get reactive kills very easily. It's not like Dust 2, not like Cash, and even to Mirage to some extent. To actually get those kills and actually push out, it takes a lot of balls, there's a lot of angles to actually face, and he makes it work, but it's not enough, unfortunately. SK Gaming take the call, and then once they know an Orb's that far removed from the situation towards B, he's at the end of long A, they went very quickly towards the B side, locked it down, and here we are then, 1-0 in the second half.
And this round for the first map point of overtime.
Right.
A big round to take. Loosen some pressure off. If you're able to pick it up, Snacks goes out toward long. He's got an AWP. He has the only AWP. He found a pick here last time, but how aggressive does he feel like going this time around? Instead of posts up, goes out the fire, holds them off slightly, and then just watches the angle. Well, slow play and Fallen, look at his positioning this time, much different. Way back in the courtyard, staring down that long position as if to say, Snacks, yeah, try that again, I dare you.
That's standard default once again from SK. One towards top and middle, gain drop that control, which they can get. VP are happy to give it away, which is not a problem. It's a very difficult position to hold. We saw Navi struggling lots of times, and the angle is not favorable for the CTs, that's for sure. So they like to play the more passive setup. Taz, once again, he's a bit deeper on the window right now. You can see on the mini-map, he's not fully committed to it. He learned his lesson from those HE grenades. And it will be SK rotating back towards B-Horse. This could be the full execution here. I don't think they've dropped into that area just yet. You can see Bialy just listening for that footstep. And FNX with the bomb back towards middle, perhaps, here. So this could be the A split.
Double flash in, Bialy dodging both of those. If it's an A split, it's not a 3-2, which we've seen SK try and utilize most times they've done this strategy. It's a 4-1 with Fur the only one being at drop position right now. Taz over to his window. Smoke out from Snacks to try and slow them at the top of the ramp, but they're going to go through it anyway. Flash, jump over the wall. He's stuck in stables. They spot him with the jump and a taco. And now Fur, they've got the entrances. Taz, he's rotated back over fast enough to drop the bomb down. And if he can hold this position and keep them away from it, he'll do so much. Taco has to go over the wall to find it. And Neo, he's going to spot Taco as a result of it. The bomb going down in the open. It's so massive. 7 seconds. Cold Zero's got it. Misses the jump. Misses the jump. But it's the shot. 3 seconds. He cannot plant. The missed jump, and it's over. It's going to be Virtus.Pro with the first map point.
Unbelievable. It looked like SK Gaming had it all tied up, hitting the first shots there, but Taz and Neo, the bails him out once again. Taz in a horrible position as well, behind that APC, has to nail every single shot. He gets 2, then Neo from the balcony as well to finish things off. Cold Zero just left with no time to do anything with it. He got 1 kill, but that's enough. That was a worthy sacrifice for the CTs there. Delayed him to actually go for the plant. 3 seconds remaining, you need 4 on the clock to actually get the bomb down. Doesn't work out, and like you said, map point for VP. Potentially the last round here. SK need this to take it to double overtime, which I said was a serious possibility. Double orb set it once again on the T side, just 1 for VP. This is it. Can they close it out?
Taco with the smoke out toward long, nothing thrown in terms of utility against that so far from Virtus.Pro. They'll just do so now, and it's nades in that they elect to use to try and get damage on anyone pushing up and ready to push. Shot down from Fur. And Snacks to open it. The start to go to Virtus.Pro. 1-man advantage.
What a scalp to take as well. The in-game leader, the captain, Fallen drops. And Snacks is towards long A by as well. That's Fallen by himself in that area with the orb. Now, 1 minute remaining. Looks like they will be favoring towards A, and Snacks is ready for this.
Snacks right now with the smokes down at bottom and mid, watching that long corner as he's alone on this site. Here they go, through the smokes. He hears the flash. He sees them pushing. He's got to get out of there, and he just barely gets through the vent in time to do so. Smoke in hand, he's going to cover off the APC. This gives him more of an angle toward the stables. They're not pushing aggressively, they're still checking angles. This allows time for a bit of a rotation to come through, but Taz only with one. It's Taco to trade it, it's still the man advantage, make it two. As Virtus.Pro, Snax hits Taco. Bomb down, open again. Jumps over, goes for no scope, but just the information, more importantly, Fur. Oh, what a day play to make! He pulls back. We're still on twos, and it's still so close as Pasha finding Fur on the flag. Gets down to presumably the world's best player right now, coldzera. And he hits one onto Pasha, but he's gonna hold this play at Neo. He's getting so close. coldzera gets the gun back out in time, but Neo, the man who put us in overtime, he's going to end it. Virtus.Pro are gonna take map number one.
What an amazing first map this has been. VP have done it just about. coldzera in another clutch situation, can't finish it off. Neo waits for the palm that goes down, tries to fake it out. SK, so many opportunities. They're winning both pistols. It's overtime. They finally let it slip. Neo, Taz, Snax, Pasha, everyone stepping up at different times. And what a way to kick the semi-final off, map.
And instantly Fallen grouping up with the team to talk about how they approach Nuke, because guess what, Virtus.Pro? You've just stolen Cobblestone, you've thrown in the wild card, and that's where we head. This is massive. We'll see if they've got anything SK they want to defend as champions. Well, they've got a large, large task in front of them. We'll go to the analyst, we'll be back. This series is incredible already.
Said it perfectly there at the caster desk. Lose two pistols, and the Virtus.Pro still picks up the win. Gentlemen, it's been a spectacular start to our semi-final day. So many individual plays, such a wild ride of Counter-Strike. And just to think, I'll start just kind of by actually asking you, Yanko, to tell us why this is so insane. I keep talking about losing two pistols. Losing two pistols and winning that map, especially on Cobblestone, that's almost unheard of.
Definitely, it's especially because for a team like VP, right, we always talk about the plow on the T side, where what makes that plow started is winning the pistol, having a strong economy, so you can go for more risky plays in the beginning, fast-paced plays, and then even if you lose a round, you still have enough money to buy, you keep pressure on your opponent's economy. Here, SK was the team who had the great start to both halves, and on the contrary, SK is one of the best CT-sided teams in the world with a double op setup on Fallen and Cold. It's exactly what they wanted. They got what they wanted, but still VP managed to find a way to break them.
Auguste, we wouldn't have even seen overtime if it wasn't for Mr. Neo. These are some retro performances coming out from VP.
I mean, this is just VP, again, showing their uncanny ability to match their opponents and in certain scenarios just best them. And nobody, I think, you know, apart from Anders, if you ask him, right, you know, would think that Neo is going to be able to show us this kind of star power, this ability to clutch, to take fights head on, to make the difference in almost every round. And now, all of a sudden, we're sitting here standing here, you know, saying that Neo is a key factor in this win. This 1-0 lead now that VP have over SK.
And of course, you know, if you look at the stats, there's another old name, old face to Counter-Strike I have to mention. It's the TAZ. What a performance from Taz.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you talk about legends, okay, I think that sometimes gets thrown around too liberally. You don't just become a legend for how long you play, it's the way you play and the things you've accomplished. So there's a reason why Taz and Neo have all those majors in 1.6. It's not just because they played forever, basically. They were some of the greatest players of all time. So sure, in CSGO, Taz is not the star player, but we've already seen multiple maps now in this tournament where he's been the main guy for Virtus.Pro. And if he hadn't have been, they actually could have lost in regulation because Snax really struggled for like 2/3 of that game there. He didn't get it going towards till the very end there. And we started his AWPing, getting it going CT side. He was really the dead weight for most of the game.
Yeah, no, it's also Neo. Really, I mean, just to come back to Neo, it
Sure.
was, you know, Neo through and through. Taz obviously led the charge, but for me, it was like what put it past was Neo. He had like 3 incredibly important rounds towards the end of regulation time that just broke SK's back and ended up making it so close in the end. But we are looking at stats for Taz. And yeah, Taz, I mean, he joins the 30 bomb club at a major. I mean, he's dropped 31 kills here on this map. That is a huge performance.
Versus defending world champions. Yanko, you had a couple of rounds and specifically you wanted to highlight to break down exactly where things may have gone right or wrong.
Definitely. We have been referencing Taz. This is one of the plays that, you know, shows how difficult it is and how to make those split-second decisions, right? Sure. And it shows how sometimes you need to take a big risk in order to get your team back into the round. So this was actually after SK in the first half manages to string 3 rounds together. They're back into the game. And now here we see Pasha just died on that B platform. And VP, for the whole of that CT side, they've been giving away control of drop, right? So you give away drop, but you don't want to give away of control of both drop and platform because then the players who are in the bomb side, they're pinched from 2 sides. So you can see Taz, he's on the far end. He reacts to this immediately by taking a risky push onto drop, but he manages to clear that area of the map, so all of his teammates can then focus solely on platform, and they manage to win this round and take all of the remaining rounds in the half, getting a 9-6 lead. So now we can play it off, just so you guys can see the exact move that Taz makes here, killing, I think it was Fur or FNX, I can't really see from here, and that allows them to, as I said, focus on that platform area, and then in the 2v2, VP guys manage to take the round.
Kind of crazy to think just how great the semi-final has been. And gentlemen, Cobblestone was SK's pick.
Yeah,
Duncan,
absolutely.
can you just quickly, just for someone that's just joined us and wants to understand how on earth VP just won Cobblestone against defending world champions SK, how would you explain this to the layman?
Well, the first thing that was definitely way above the level of what I've seen from Virtus.Pro in the last few months in this slump is their CT side players, what's always cost them. That's why they've had the heartbreaking losses. They get the T rounds. Well, this time, they were great on both the CT sides. And they were even doing it in the fashion where it wasn't even like aggression. They would just play in the sites, and they were just hitting shots and moving through smokes and stuff. So this isn't even the classic VP style that you'd expect, you know. And like I said, Snacks wasn't really even the guy doing it until late in the game. So it was everyone else on the team pretty much who had to carry the weight until this guy could get back into the game. I have to say as well, though, on the other side of the equation, the reason this went to overtime is because there was 2 players on Luminosity, one in each site, Fallen in the A site and Cold Zero in the B site, where over the course of the game, it was Fallen early on, it was Cold Zero late, they were allowing the guys from SK to even stay in this game and have real chances to potentially win.
I mean, Fallen, for example, 29th round, that 4K with the op. That's what actually made it possible. Like and he has that uncanny ability to just come through in the clutch for his team. And the key rounds that will almost decide whether they're knocked out of the tournament or going through, Fallen just comes alive and has a crazy performance where he just completely shuts down his opponents. And we just saw it again right there. You know, backs to the wall, VP just on the edge of taking it, and Fallen just comes out of nowhere and blindsides VP. So, once again, just beautiful. Beautiful start to this
Beautiful Counter-Strike, and it's not done yet. The Curveball Nuke has once again made its presence known here in the Lanxess Arena, and that is the map we'll be discussing after our break. When we do jump into this break, you get to see that ESEA has arrived on Steam, so check that out, and we'll be back to talk about Nuke and see if VP can do it in 2.